really changed our names. I didn't know you could do that.
We are live.
We are.
We are live.
Excellent.
We need a little intro.
We are live.
Next week.
We are live.
We are live.
Yeah, let us know, Jeff, next time.
We are live. Welcome, everybody. I am Jeff. We have a special guest, Dave, as you know him as Codex Entertainment. And
Good
we have
evening.
the former king of content and the new king of content. The former king of content being the all-purpose chump. The new king of content, the greatest game show host in the world, Ryzak.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that. Actually, we just got done with that show over there, and it was England versus Denmark again, Dave, and England prevailed once again.
They absolutely did, and we've had the haters, we've had the people say Denmark were robbed, but we outplayed them. And as I always say, if they were going to win it, they should have scored more goals, and it's that simple. So
That is a good point.
we are in the final, which is on Sunday. So. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Montreal would have won the Stanley Cup if they had scored more goals.
Now, Ryzak was referring to that bum Eli losing to Clive the Great.
I was. You got me.
Eli's he was winding it up all week, saying how good Denmark are and they're going to beat England and England are noobs. And he went quiet yesterday after they got whooped and knocked out. So
I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, Dismal Gaming had put a milk carton with Eli's face on the side missing.
Have you seen it? It was funny. It was good.
Great. It was great.
Eli's he's good at trolling others, so I've been trolling him this week.
Yeah, you know what? I remember when he first came into the community, he was the super quiet, nice kid, and he like snapped one day. I guess he got comfortable with everybody, and then he literally snapped. I'll never forget it. Vet was streaming. I was about to say, what's the Cowboy game? He was streaming Red Dead Redemption, and Eli was so serious. Hey guys, we gotta do this, and Vet was just off doing God knows, playing around. And Eli was like, "Yo, come on!" And Vet was still and everybody else was ready, and Vet was off, and he just snapped, cursed, and logged out, and everybody was like, "Whoa!" And then he just never been the same. Reminds me of Jeff.
Yeah, he gets bored very easily. Eli does when he's playing a game. If you're not doing something that interests him, he'll just say it, or he'll jump out the game. He's a lad, isn't he? He's only a kid.
I've been in games with Vet, and we were trying to do a bounty, and he's off killing people or something. So it's like, well, forget it. I'll just go do it by myself.
This is it.
Yeah.
Don't expect any progress in the game when you're playing online with Vet, because he'll just go
the hell with it.
It goes off.
Speaking of that, with their new update coming out Tuesday, yay, nay?
For me, yay, definitely. Big thing. Yeah. Well, I'm a Red Dead fan, and I've got into the online since joining the community because there's loads of people that play it online. But one thing that people complain about a lot with Red Dead is the updates, because they don't get treated as much as Grand Theft Auto, because Rockstar are still milking that 10 years later. Yeah. So it's a much needed update, but also I think I might be wrong, but I think it's to do with the heists. You can do like bank robberies, so you've got to plan a robbery, and you've got it's a bit more engaging for the users.
That's cool.
Is it too little, too late?
No, I don't think so. Definitely don't think so.
You know what happens, right? These games, they grab a wide audience, right? That's what games do. And then over time, games taper down, right? But they always, for the most part, they keep a core audience. And if their core audience is large enough, then that update does serve a purpose, because they're, like you said, that's your favorite game. So
one of them,
okay, one of them. So you're like, obviously I'm gonna play, right? So their player base is big enough for an update to actually come out, So it serves a purpose.
It'd be nice if it would accommodate crossplay, because then you'd have a larger when you're playing online. But then you get all the griefers and the hackers and all that sort of stuff. So it's there, and it's got a decent community, Red Dead. So I think it's a much needed update, and I'm looking forward to it. Definitely.
I never got into Red Dead for the online. I mean, the online came out right as I think right around I beat it. But from a single player standpoint, it's fantastic. It is such a beautiful game. It really is.
Well, when I got it on release, and I've played the campaign twice, and I never touched it online. I dipped my toe in there, but it was a lot of, you've got to do a lot of grinding, and they try and emphasise getting in a posse and doing things as a team, and none of my friends at the time played it online, so it's taken Stadia for me to get really heavily online and start playing it more than I play the story mode. I think I've played like 10 minutes of the story mode on Stadia. And this is the third time I've bought the game as well.
You could tell it's a good game when it goes on sale. It only ever drops in like $15, $20 range. Like you're never going to find that game for $20.
No, I paid 34
PS Now, but you're still paying the subscription, right?
Yeah, but if you're paying that anyways, if you're still paying for that, right? So, if you're, whatever. After they changed the rules, I kind of cut back on it, except when I play like with you guys. Doing the daily challenges, because after 28 days it resets, then you're down to nothing, and it just made it harder and harder to rack up the coin, and you were just doing the same things over and over. Sure, I'll probably play the new update, I'll probably stream the new update, but I haven't played it in ages. Actually, that's a lie. I played it, I did a couple of weeks ago just because I was hunting Ray down to kill him. And it wasn't even, usually it's near the top of my played games. I actually had to scroll and go look for it because it's been so long.
You're into everything though, Jeff. I've noticed you do retro game, you do your PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, you do all sorts of stuff. So
and I don't know if you heard or not, Jeff, but I got confirmation during the show just a little while ago that Clive is actually a fan of yours. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Didn't even know he knew I existed.
I've got a question for you, Jeff.
Okay. Oh dear.
Why, in some of your streams, and this is just me, but it's very off-putting for me as a viewer. You don't have game audio in quite a few of them. Is there a reason? Or
yes, I do that mostly on purpose. Because I hate when I go to streams and I can't hear the person.
Okay.
And I've been not in one of your streams, but I go to a lot of streams and I just leave because I can't, like, he or she is talking to chat and I can't hear a word they're saying because all I can hear is shooting and other stuff going on. And
Jeff, Jeff, you could just turn that volume down, right?
I understand that, but I made a choice that I'm not going to put, for the most part, game sounds in.
Okay.
That is a choice. People ask in my chat all the time, and they're like, "We don't hear the game," and I go, "I know that's on purpose."
Yeah, I actually
I choose not to because I'd rather if you're in my chat, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And if there's some stuff on the words on the screen, I'll just read it, or you can read it, or whatever. But I'd rather engage with the audience than have them distracted by whatever it is, the sounds that are coming from the game.
And it's different when Anthony streams. We only want to hear game sound. We don't want to hear you talk at all.
Yeah.
Now, and plus, what some of my retro stuff, because of it coming through the capture card, it sounds sometimes doesn't come through correctly.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And that too. So, and that's part of the reason. So I just decided to do no sound on anything. And plus, sometimes it annoys me.
Cool.
It's all about you, isn't it? It's all about you. Don't think of your audience.
Man, listen, that's how it is.
That's right. That's right. So I have a question for Dave.
Yes.
Oh, actually, it's for all of you.
Ooh.
This came out today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What are we thinking?
It doesn't do a lot for me.
Hold up. Let me see. I gotta make
the free play days. I'll probably have a go with the crew. I'm not a big racing guy. I'm not into my car racing games at all. Dead by Daylight, I play it if everyone's playing it. I don't go out on my way to play it. And the indie games, they don't do it for me, unfortunately. I'm not a big indie game fan, so there you go.
Let me take my stab. Dead by Daylight. Not really a fan. I often play it and compare it too much to Friday the 13th, which is a superior game.
Same sort of setup, isn't it? Yeah. Absolutely.
Solstice of Heroes. I used to be a diehard Destiny fan, but I'm not anymore, so that doesn't move the needle at all. The crew is interesting, but my thing is when I play a racing game, I want it to have a start and a finish. I don't like the racing games where I could just drive down somebody's alleyway and then cut across. Like, because for me, I feel like I can't really beat you on competitive. But if you're just able to drive down the lawn, and so I'm not interested in that. I think the new Ease 9. I never played any of them besides Ease 8 when it was a pro. Played a little bit of it. It was cool, but nowhere would I care to play 9. But I will say this: I was a big Castlevania fan.
Oh,
and, you know, if you can't get, you know, I say imitation is the best way of flattery, right? Bloodstain is still made by the same makers of Castlevania, so it's weird that it's not in the Castlevania universe, but it's damn near the same game. A buddy of mine, we both was diehard fans. When I seen this come in, I sent the video. I said, "Look what Stadia's getting. I know you got it before." He said, "Dude, I know Stadia doesn't have Castlevania, but just get it. It's gonna feel that. It's gonna scratch that itch."
See,
so,
if it is, well, like you say, I've never heard of Bloodstain, but I've definitely heard of Castlevania.
Yeah, so it's been out for a while. I've heard of it when it came out, but I was like, well, at the time I was a PlayStation guy, so I was like, I mean, I could just play Castlevania, right? So what's the point of getting the knockoff? But again, because it's made by the same company, I give it some credit, right? It could have been made by 2K, and you'd have like, it's really a knockoff. But no, it's literally made by the same maker, so they wanted to come at it in a different angle, right? So for me, I heard it was coming. I said, "Oh, I'm buying it." But then when the debacle came out and it was $57, I was like, "What?" But then today, that was obviously a mistake. So now it's for like $35 or whatever. So
they have dropped the price. Right. Okay.
So that's my take on those games. Ryzak, that would be you.
I love Dead by Daylight, and I own it. So the fact that it's for free doesn't do anything for me because I already have it as part of Pro. The Crew 2 is a fun game. I don't play it as much, but I do like that you can change up the vehicles. It's not just a racing game. You can fly the plane, you can drive a monster truck, you can drive a boat. Like all that stuff is cool.
Does it scratch your Rocket League itch?
It does not. No,
not at all.
Not at all.
I heard a rumor on the internet, and so therefore it must be true that you're a Rocket League guy.
I am definitely.
I heard that on the
internet.
Guy. You know, it's on the internet. It's true. So.
Well, I'm going to let you guys know right now. I'm spoiling the fun a little bit, but I'm pretty much going to be a bachelor on Sunday, so I'm planning on doing an entire day Sunday of games streaming all day long. So Rocket League's definitely going to be one of them. I think Destiny is a horrible game.
Let me know when. I'll jump in with you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll put a little schedule together. I don't like Destiny at all. Never have. Didn't like the first one. Don't like the second one. I think it's a boring game. And Bloodstained and Yeast don't do anything for me. So this isn't a very.
Have you ever played any Castlevanias?
Yeah, I mean original Castlevania, the side scroller kind. But
yeah, that's pretty much it. Is side scroller. Yeah, that's like this. This is what it is. This is a side scroll. This is the like. It's going to remind you of that Castlevania, not when they made a 3D one.
It's not a $40 game to me.
No,
it's not a $70 game to me. It's not a. I mean,
it's one of them games that I think they released it and everyone lost the shit over the price because I think in the UK it was £60. Yeah. And then everyone's going, "Oh, it's got to be a mistake. Got to be a mistake." So it turns out it's a mistake, but it's still not what I'd pay. I don't think I'd pay for it, to be honest. And I reckon it'll be a pro game in 3 months.
Well, and again, I mean, I think we've spoken to it several times, right? Just because that's my opinion of it, I'm not trying to bash it. I'm not trying to bash the people that make it. I know people put a lot of hard work and blood, sweat, and sleepless nights into that thing. For somebody, that's going to be a great game. It's just
absolutely.
Yeah. Let me say this real quick. Dave, man,
yo,
your setup looks so. You know, I remember it was called Dave the Movie Guy. Bro, your setup right now looks so. You look like You look like the guy that would be reviewing a movie with a really cool looking glass of champagne or wine. Like, guys, that setup looks cool. I just had to put it out there.
I've got basically what's happened is I was in when I first started. I was downstairs under the stairs. We've got a little alcove under the stairs, and I had me set up there. But obviously everyone's in the living room, so you could hear people in the background or you could see people in the background. So then I moved into the garage. and I was in there, and I could shout, and I could swear, and I could do all the great stuff that people want to do on stream. But because I've changed the direction of my main channel, I've brought the PC back inside now. So now it's in the bedroom. So it's I'm comfier.
Is that your curtain?
That's the curtain, yeah.
I love it, man. I love it.
The first thing I thought of, and you guys are all too young to know these two, but there used to be a guy, two guys who used to review movies back in the day, Siskel and Ebert.
Siskel and Ebert.
Yes,
we
know
Roger
who that
Ebert. Is. He's one of the most respected film critics when he was alive, obviously. Yeah, I know Siskel and Ebert.
You got that look, man. You got that look.
I'm so young. They were the guys with the tiger, right?
That was the initial thing I thought. Sorry, Ryzak?
Siegfried and Roy.
I'm really young. Those were the guys with the tiger, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
Go on, Anthony. You were saying. What was you saying?
Oh yeah, I was just saying that I love the setup, man. I'm like, damn, it looks pretty good, man.
Well, basically, what I've done, and I released a video a few weeks ago, just saying I'm knocking game streams on the head.
Yep, I remember
with the channel. I'm going to concentrate on my movie stuff, and I've been writing, and I'm recording. It's all going to be pre-recorded. Might do a live stream every now and again, but I've also got a gaming channel, which is my Codex Gaming, which is 100% Stadia content, just streaming every Friday. But what I'm doing with that channel, I'm not pushing it, I'm not promoting it, I'm not tweeting it out when I go live, because I'm trying a few different experiments with things. So I can be streaming. If I'm streaming to nobody, I'll carry on.
I like it, man.
I'm just testing the water out with trying to get subscribers in different ways.
Well, here's the thing. So this is between me and Dave, real quick, guys. You're a movie guy. I'm a movie guy, and when I watched that movie I told you about, I instantly thought Dave got to see this. Like, I thought of you, bro.
I found it. I've got to watch it on. I told you, didn't I? I've got, because it's not on Netflix UK. I need to run it through the VPN. Excuse me. So I might watch that tonight.
Yeah. Well, if you want to do a show about it and bring me on, I'm there.
Yeah, movie talk's coming back. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But either way, I just wanted you to see it and then let me know, because I mean, I would love for you and me to do something. But besides that, I was like, I gotta hear what you're gonna say. And I didn't want to say much at all. You know?
Definitely.
Dave, if you're doing Marvel movies, I'm your guy.
Oh, okay. You do Marvel movies, Jeff?
You're doing Marvel movies.
I've come up with an idea for a show, actually. I was talking to someone the other day. Me and my son are watching Loki at the moment, and he loves his Marvel stuff. So once we've got through the series, we've got, is it 6 episodes in the series? We've got 3 to watch. I'm going to sit down with him and do a video review with I get an 8-year-old's perspective, and
nice,
because he wants to get his YouTube channel going as well.
I don't know if you know this, Dave, but I do that. I got that channel called Big Mike Little Ant. So what we've been doing is every 2 weeks we get a panel together and we review spoiler discussions. Spoiler, don't watch it.
Yeah,
but every 2 weeks we do a spoiler discussion on 2 episodes of Loki. So it's going to be 3 of them. So we did the first 2. We did last week, did the second 2, and then we did the final. And Stadia Pro is actually going to be on that episode as well. So
cool. I'll check that out. Question for me: what was my all-time favorite? Right, so my all-time favorite movie, number 1 out of all films and genres, is Dawn of the Dead, which was 1978. George Romero made. Just one of the best films ever made, in my opinion. And I'm a horror fan. I think horror's my number 1 genre.
Dave, you come on the show and you turn it into a damn movie thing.
Let's say, really, not the 2000 version with Ving Rhames, man. What's wrong with you?
That's all right. It was a good. Well, I don't qualify that as a remake. You see, I like that's more of a retelling. So it's different enough to be classed as different, but it's also the same. Because usually remakes are shockingly bad, but that one, I'll let that one go.
Did you get excited for the Evil Dead game? It looks pretty cool.
I've not seen anything on it, but I've seen the past Evil Dead games. I wasn't a big fan.
So this one is asymmetric. It's kind of like Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th, but it's super violent. Ash got the chainsaw. Yeah, could be different characters. Everybody could kill everybody. Like, it looks all crazy, but it's one main person that a person is using trying to kill everybody. It looks pretty cool.
I'll have a look at that.
It looks pretty cool. They showed it at E3.
So, Dave, we had a discussion in the house about the new Black Widow movie. This was last year when it was supposed to come out.
Yep.
And we were kind of debating about, because we like to see the Marvel movies in the theater. And it's coming out.
I don't, but okay.
Okay. It's coming out
Don't bring up movies today.
But the
oh
government,
my God, don't do it.
But the government has made the choice easy for us because movie theaters aren't open where I am. So in Ontario, no theaters are not open. So we have no choice but to buy it on Disney Plus, pay the extra money, which I'm okay with, because if 3 or 4 or 5 of us went to a theater, even if we used our points, we're still shelling out $100 for food.
Yeah.
So paying $30 for a Disney, the Disney exclusive, I'm still ahead of the game, and I don't.
See, the thing is, I don't like cinemas. I've talked about this before. I'm not a big. They're going to be a thing of the past soon.
Don't get them started. I'm telling you.
You've got friends that are into the same films. You could all chip in whatever it is, $5 each. You can go and buy the food that's going to be dirt cheap. Get your beers in, and you can have more fun. You don't have to worry about people moaning about you being noisy. And for me, that's the way forward.
We've talked about this before. They always have premiere night. So if it released on a Friday, tonight they would be having the premiere. So we almost always went to the premiere. So I was already tweeting out about whatever the Star Wars movie or whatever Endgame or whatever it was, and people are like, "Oh, I'm going to see that Saturday." Well, I've already seen it on the Thursday, right? So we do like going to that, and we do like going to the theater and stuff. But theaters are closed. I know he's got his special pass.
My movie tickets was already. Oh, you can't really see it, but my movie tickets were already. So I got the unlimited pass, so I could go unlimited. But my movie tickets, I was already selected a week ago.
We don't have that in Canada. I don't know if they have that in North Carolina.
Oh, they do. I've been to the movie.
Yeah, we've got it. Cineworld. I paid. I'm not doing it anymore, but I used to pay £18 a month, and I could go as many times as I wanted to. I could pre-book tickets and do all that stuff. So it was worth it. But since the lockdown, it's made me realise that I can't be arsed with all that. Because the closest cinema to me, well, we've got one in the town I live in, but it's not a true cinema. It's something, a little family set up.
Sure.
It's quite good, actually, to be fair. But I have to drive probably 30 minutes to get to the cinema. Then I've got to drive all the way back. I can't have a drink if I want to drink. If I've got some food and stuff like that. So, and I just can't. It's just not for me anymore. I'm just an old fuddy-duddy now.
We have a bougie cinema here, Jeff, so they bring us alcohol while we're watching the movie.
We have Cineplex here in Ontario. They have what they call VIP, where they'll bring you stuff. And even if you go to the non-VIP, there's usually a little person out front with the bucket of ice, like at the bar, and you just pick up your can of whatnot, and then you can take it to your seat. But the VIPs are like 21 plus, I think, here, and my kids aren't 21 plus. So, or even if it's 19, which is the legal drinking age, one of them is legal drinking age, the other one isn't. So we never went to that anyways, because I was always, lugging a kid around with me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I can't see me going back to a theater.
You'll get
last
there.
2 years we've been watching everything at home.
And you get.
And I can have a better setup. I can have 7.1 surround sound down here in the man cave. I've got 4 televisions.
Yeah, but you don't watch any of them with audio, so you can hear yourself talk.
No people. I always have at least 3 or 4 people in my stream. Always guaranteed.
You do.
I was going off back of what Ryzak just said. If you have friends over to watch a movie, don't forget to put the audio on, just in case you want to talk to them. You can pause things. Guys, we're going to watch a movie, but you can't hear it.
Anthony, you forgot something right there.
I put on the closed captioning so they can read the movie.
Let me switch this up real quick. All right, we're gonna listen. Listen, Linda, honey. Now, Jeff, I know this is your show. This episode number 2 is on your channel. You're the host. But can I insert a topic? Can I switch the topic real quick, man?
If you must.
So I just want to ask a question. We don't have to get crazy on it. But because this is episode number 2, I want to talk about episode number 1. So Jeff showed up late as he was drinking in a bar. That was epic for our first episode.
Hammered, waving his flag around, wearing his Canadian underwear.
I mean, it was crazy. Got women in the background. Exactly. But I want to talk about something that happened after, and I just want to ask you guys' opinion. And yes, I know, Anthony, don't do it. But
I knew you would.
Okay, I'm gonna blame.
I'm prepared, bro.
This is the time for it.
Let me take this time to blame myself, though. Okay, so I will agree, or I will admit that it was. I love saying the word cheeky now since I've been around you guys, Dave. So it was cheeky of me. I've really said it a lot. It was very cheeky of me to tag Avery on my post. But I was just summarizing things that happened in the episode of No Yes Men, the first one. And his name came up. I didn't bring it up. That was Ryzak, the new king of content, not me.
Throwing Ryzak under the bus now.
But hey, I'm just saying. But I did, I tagged him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was part of it. And I'm not going to lie. Obviously, he was going to watch it, or maybe he wouldn't have. I don't know. But he watched it, and I guess it bothered him a little bit. Excuse me, how Ryzak mentioned him, not Anthony. So he proceeded to tell me, hey, you guys, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, I'll let Jeff and Ryzak know, or they'll probably read it and know. Well, you need to not mention my name. And I said, well, if Ryzak and them are watching, I mean, they could take it up on that. But for me, I said, you're a public figure. You can't take that back, right? If you put one post ever in your life on Twitter or Facebook, if somebody see it, they have the right to bring your name up, because I don't know the last time Kanye West or Nicki Minaj or whoever was able to stop someone from mentioning their name, right? So, but that so then he proceeded to block me, and I think he blocked both of you guys, right?
Forgot
it is what it is.
I feel very left out.
My only thing that I was a little annoyed, well, I actually wasn't annoyed. So here's my thing. I'm that guy that always got to say something. But if too much time go by and I find out about it later on, that I don't have the energy because I feel foolish, I feel foolish going back and forth to somebody who already said something. So then Ray, like hours later, was like, dude, do you know Avery was talking about you? I was like, talking about me? What are you talking about? I was like, well, early this morning. So anyway, long story short, don't really care. But going forward, guys, like I said, when I wanted to form this little unit, people are going to say whatever, because my vision was just to have a show where we say whatever. And Dave said, hey, I want to come on the show. I'm kind of getting fed up a little bit nowadays with people feeling like you can't say whatever. So what I wanted to switch gears, is just the people who are watching maybe new. I've been on Facebook a lot lately, on the Facebook pages, Stadia pages, and I've been putting out our SBCN content and stuff like that. So we might have new viewers. So I just want to go over what the whole thing is. No yes man just pretty much means, usually a yes man is someone that says, he repeats what someone else says, right? And his opinion is that person's opinion.
Agrees with the boss. If the boss says 1 + 1 = 3, yes, sir. 1 + 1 = 3.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
It's that whole I don't want to, but well, I do want to. I'm going to take it back to movies for a second. It's the whole George Lucas and the trilogy, the Phantom Menace. The what you call them, the prequels.
Yeah,
they were rubbish. They were absolutely terrible. But because he was surrounded by yes men, no one told him, George, this is not a good idea. George, don't do this.
I agree.
Because they were all just, yes, you're right, George. Yes, you're right. And that's the whole point of not being a yes man. Now, I made a video a few weeks ago saying the amount of BS that I see daily on Twitter, within this, not just within the Stadia community, but in the gaming community. And I said, I'm going to start calling people out on it, because, and likewise, I said, if people see something that I've put and they disagree or they think it's BS, call me out on it. That's what it's for. That's the whole point. So if people put something on Twitter, and then somebody responds to it and they don't like the response, talk it over with the person. But blocking them, muting them, doing all that shit, it's like,
I feel like
why put your opinion out there if you're not going to listen to people's opposing opinions? And you're just going to stay in this little echo chamber, this bubble where everybody agrees with you and no one tells you that you might be wrong, or to look at this from another perspective. And all you're doing is hearing feedback that you're right, you're correct. And
And we all have kids.
Garbage. Yes.
Yeah, we all have kids. Anthony's got grandkids. And we've probably all told our kids, whatever crap you put on the internet is there forever. Right? So, Ryzak's got, I've got older teenagers, one's 20. Ryzak's kids are teenagers. If they do something now as a 13 or how old's the girl, 15?
13 and 15.
They, that could come back to haunt them in 5, 6, 10 years from now. Some employer will find some post your kid did 10 years ago and use it against them. Right?
Yeah. And not for
if you're putting it out there in a public forum, you're exactly right. And if someone doesn't like it,
okay.
Yeah, and if you want to be immature and you want to block them, I belong to several communities, not just the gaming and whatever. I'm in the startup world. I see the same thing over there where somebody got pissed off about something and they went and started blocking all these other people. I saw some tweets from a bunch of other people, and they were doing screenshots of these people that had all blocked them. It happens, and it's not just the Stadia. And I made a joke on JD's stream, and Anthony took it to another level the other day.
Whoa! I said on your stream, I said, then I'm gonna tweet it, and you said go ahead, and I tweeted it.
I know.
What, you thought I was bluffing?
I know. I just made a joke going, what? JD, the host of a PlayStation show, is on Xbox? It was really just a stab at all the Stadia haters. Well, I guess the PlayStation's done because the one of the big PlayStation guys is streaming Xbox. I guess PlayStation is done. It was really just making fun of all the Stadia haters. And I have a whole bunch of them saved in my tweets who said Stadia's dead. Stadia's dead. I keep going back to them. One guy sent me a DM. He goes, why are you doing this? I go, you made a comment in a public forum. I'm going to come after you every few months and tell you all the great things. You can block me if you want. Go right ahead. But I'm coming after you. You told me it would be 6 months or a year. Stadia would be dead. I'm coming back. You'll see me in 6 months, 1 year, 18 months. You're going to keep seeing me as it gets bigger and better. You're going to see me in your messages. So either block me now. I'm coming after you, buddy.
You know what's funny about that, Jeff, is people look at us like we're wrong, right? So let's say you have a sports team and your sports team had a bad 3 years. They didn't make the playoffs for 3 years, right? So then when your team actually win the championship, right? And then win the Super Bowl, let's just talk about youth football. So then they get mad if you shout and say, hey. So when I took it upon myself and said, listen, Stadia has been doing some really good things, and it's my favorite platform, and I'm going to talk about it. Then I'm the bad guy now, right? But when the people who are out there, Stadia is going to die, and now they're mad, like, oh, you're going too much about Stadia. What? They've been doing an awesome job at somehow getting deals and they got a good string of positive stuff going on, right?
Yeah, and they've been interacting with the community.
They have, yep,
right. So which they weren't doing 6 months ago. 6 months ago, and I have noticed they're doing a little bit more advertising. Ryzak and I, we talked about this before. Everyone's like, Google should do this, and Google doesn't do that, but they do. I see some little Instagram ads when they were promoting their stuff. I've seen it now with the Chromecast TV. They've been, they're doing a little bit within the Google way. People don't understand the Google way.
It's that. Give an inch, take a mile. Every time they increment something, or they bring something in, they bring it in small increments, like the search bar, and everyone's already moved on to the next thing. Oh, Google should do this, so they'll bring something else out. Oh, they need to do this. And I put a quote on I think it was a week ago, about Google looking for a project leader or manager, and I said the amount of people that are qualified for this on Twitter because of the amount of shit that they put out there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got an opinion. That's fine. Have an opinion. Well, if your opinion's challenged, don't cry about it. Don't block.
And they're all used to Apple, and Apple that's all Apple does. They'll take whatever piece of turd and they'll just market the crap out of it, and all the sheep will line up to buy it. But that's the Apple way.
I'm guilty of that.
That's not the Google way. Right? So Google does things the Google way, and there's a big difference between Google and someone like Liquid Bit and small. I know you don't like indie developers. I know you stated.
I like Liquid Bit though. I've got respect for them.
I'm not calling them out saying good or bad. I'm just saying, they can react a little differently than a Google or a Microsoft or a Sony. Right? They're just big machines, And you can't just turn that big ship. You can't make them do it. Whereas little indie, and so I like indie games. If I was, a choice between one of the big games on one of the 2-lettered companies that I'm not purchasing their next game. It'll be the first. I have a whole string of their games. Be the first time. I'm going to wait until it goes on sale in 2 weeks after it launches, because that's what they do now, because nobody buys it at launch. But I'd rather, if I'm going to spend $50 on a game, I'd rather give it to Liquid Bit or any of the other smaller, the guys over at Cura Games with their stuff. They're just killing it. If I'm going to buy a game, I'll spend $15 on the Dark Side Detective, and I'd rather do that than give it to the big company.
One of the cool things about No Yes Men is we're No Yes Men, so we're going to disagree a lot. We're the cool thing is the three of us are so different. And it was really important for me to and Jeff could have said no, but Jeff said, yeah, he wanted to be a part of it when I approached him. But it was cool to not have just US guys, right? I don't know if you noticed, Codex, but originally the team was going to be 4 of us, and it was going to be me, Ryzak, Raging Jacob, and Alex, and it kind of didn't work out. We explained the whole story on the last episode, and it didn't work out, but I still wanted it to happen. So months later, me and Ryzak was talking. I said, dude, I still want to do this. And then Jeff put out a tweet that caught my attention. I said, this dude got balls, because I do some ballsy stuff, but right now I'm not touching that incident. And Jeff did. Hey, but anyway,
somebody said something on Twitter, put something on YouTube, made a big stink about it. And when I, when I would make jokes about it, they would go on little, 20-second rants about it. And then they went and did something. And so I just made a passive comment about it.
I have an opinion on this as well. Because people have the right to change their minds.
We're not talking Lee or Cloud Gaming Debt. We're not talking him.
No. I know exactly what you're talking
here's the thing, though.
What you're referring to.
Jeff explained it. Jeff was just being funny. So I didn't know, but to the optics, I thought Jeff was really trying to call him out. Jeff was like, no, I was just being funny. But I didn't. I'm watching it. And think about it. Somebody contacted me to say, did you see what Jeff did? I'm like,
and that's a problem. And context matters. And you put a tweet out, and you can sound like a dick, and you can go, I was only trying to be funny. It's how that other person reads it, and it's the same with text messages and all emails, and because it's just text, and they're reading it, and it's how they read it. So, who's to blame? Is it their fault for not reading it how you meant it, or is it your fault for not being being a joke? So, I know what you're referring to, but people have got the right to change their mind. If I changed my name 3 times, and if someone had said, "Oh, Dave's changing his name again," I'd go, "Right, so what?"
You know what's funny though? Speaking on the name change thing, I don't think, to be honest, right? And I obviously a person. I was messing with GSM when they changed their name, but I don't think anybody was malicious towards the people that changed their name just to change their name. I think what the issue was when, it's No Yes Man, so everybody heard my opinion on this. Even Avery said it live, right? On my show, so it's live. You could go watch it, and on the Nerf Report, he said he believed Stadia wasn't going to live past 2 years. So,
and just for the record, it outlasted him.
Yeah. Ooh, so, you're right. You're right. So the thing is, though, that was a good shot. But the thing is,
you gotta drop your mic.
No, he should have. But I want to get on this point.
I've stayed quiet the whole time.
But I want to get on this point real quick. I think the thing was,
you won't see it because he blocked me.
The thing was, the people who were hard up against GSN or Stadia Source being GSN, because again, in the beginning, I said intentions, right? So the primary thing was some people felt, just in case Stadia is going downhill, and I'm not putting words in their mouth, but I'm just saying that was my interpretation. I mean, again, I was part of Stadia Source, but that was my interpretation, my opinion of the name change, right? Now, it's different than a Cloud Dad, right? He just literally said, you know what? Let me, it was more future proof. It was more, he's still only doing Stadia, right? But I think either way, what Dave is saying is you put something out there, because I might know how I meant it. The person that people might think is about them might know how that person meant it, but the 80 people that read the post might be like, "Ooh," so
Yeah,
I think it's tough when you talk about it because I mean when you're doing stuff like that, and Dave, you can probably agree or disagree with this, but you're looking at it as rebranding. You're looking at it taking a different direction, and you want to do new content. But when somebody that is just they may not know you very well, or they just started following you because of you saying this or you doing that. And you're so passionate about your stance on something just to then turn and do the 180. I think that's where a lot of people have an issue with it, because you were just saying this yesterday, but now you're saying this today. You don't know the backstory, right?
Yeah, no, I get that, and it's hard. It's a fine line to walk, because
the biggest thing that I'll tell you is I tell my kids this all the time: be true to yourself, right? You are the only one that knows what's going on inside of your brain. You're the only one that looks back at you when you look into the mirror. So if it makes you happy and it's what you want to do it. But you also have to be able to raise your hand and say, look, yep, I said that, my bad, or I did that, my bad, and let's move on. That's it.
Leading on from that is you've also got to be careful what you say, because the impact it could have 6 months later.
Correct.
You take a position today, and like I say, everyone's entitled to change their mind. I've got more respect for people if, like you've just said, they hold their hand up and admit that they're wrong on something, or they come around to a different point of view. There's nothing wrong with that, and people are they think it's a weakness if they change their opinion.
Well, they do that with politicians all the time. Politician may have a stance, then maybe may get educated, learn, change the stance. Or, well, he or she is just flip-flopping on that topic.
Exactly.
Maybe because they got more information than they had
before.
Like, okay, you know what?
You make a decision based on the information you have at that moment.
Yeah.
If the information changes, your decision can change, and your opinion can change.
And if SG&E was closed, and you decide, you know what, let's add more content that's other than Stadia, because just in case Stadia dies,
well,
I guess there's nothing wrong with that.
But you doing that, you're sort of putting yourself in that other person's mind, and you try to say, why have they changed? Why have they? To me, it doesn't really matter. They've changed it, and it's what they want to do. So.
And that specific incident caught a lot of people off guard, right? Nobody really saw that coming, and everybody was getting really hyped up. We had a fantastic December. I mean, December was awesome. There was stuff dropping. I mean, what was it, like 9 games or something like that? Went pro, 8 games, and then you had Cyberpunk. There was all this stuff coming out, talking about how Cyberpunk ran so good on Stadia, and there was a lot of places where it wasn't running good. So December was great. We come into the new year, we're still high off of that. We're in January, we're like, okay, you can't have it every month. That's cool. And then boom, February, it's like SG&E closing. It's like, wait a second. You just had this fantastic month. Like, what are you doing now?
And again, everyone had an opinion on why they'd done it, and everyone was an expert. Everybody knew someone on the inside, and that's it. Stadia is going to die. But I looked at it as it takes between 5 and 8 years to make a AAA game. Yeah. You've got to get the talent on board. You've got to write the game. You've got the coding part of it. I think that's the most simple part. It's more about, and then you don't know if it's going to succeed or not. Whereas I think they made, and I said this to someone, there's a reason I'm not paid to make them decisions, because I probably couldn't, but they know what they're doing. Then people, and the industry, about when people leave positions and they go work somewhere else. I think it was I'm rubbish for names, but there's a few that have hopped around. As soon as someone leaves a job, it's little Twitter warriors are on there. See, I told you this was going to happen. Stadia's not going to last much longer. People move jobs. I work in an industry that's really incestuous. People hop around all the time, but they stay within the same industry. Yep. It's any industry's the same. It's the same.
So you're in porn.
2 years, okay. They switch organizations, and
I wish.
And yeah. You know what? And this has been said by way smarter people than me. At the end of the day, play the games you like. Ryzak loves Rocket League. Mm-hmm. Yes, I like playing retro games, but I love Stadia. Because I'm going to play Batman on Friday night at 6:30 on this particular channel. For those that want to come back, doesn't mean I don't like Stadia any less. Right? No. My Stadia controller's right here.
Yeah.
We're in a lockdown. I had to take my son to get his hair cut, and I sat in my car and I played on Stadia because I could.
Yeah.
What else was I going to do for 40 minutes while he got his stupid haircut? Because I couldn't go in, I couldn't be anywhere near them, right? Because of lockdowns and various things. So I just sat in my car, plugged my controller in, and bing, bang, boom. I was up playing. I wasn't even streaming. I was just playing for fun. Just,
One thing I noticed.
Games you like.
Play the games you love, and that's always the message that I send out is just play what makes you happy, and don't be driven by someone else telling you shouldn't be playing. But going back to the and I'll name drop because he blocked me, the Avery thing. When he blocked me is because he went on this, I think it was like 6 tweets tirade, and he was shouting, and I think you called him on it, Ryzak, about what he thought he was entitled to. Because
that's what we're talking about.
I was waiting. I wasn't going to say it just to keep bringing it up, but since you said it, I will.
No, it annoyed me.
You haven't earned anything.
They don't owe you anything.
Exactly. I have not earned anything. Anthony has not earned anything. Yeah. There's not an ounce of respect that you have earned with me. So for you to think that you are so high and mighty and above everybody else to say a comment like that, that is why I said what I said on the show, because he did that stuff about politics. He did that stuff about LGBTQ. He did that stuff about all kinds of stuff. And then when people called him out on it, he deleted it. And guess what he did this time? He ran. He hid. He went off on his tirade so that you guys could see it. Blocked me. I don't give a shit. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a grown-ass man. You want to sit there and say that I should have come and talked to you? I don't owe you anything. If you want to sit here and have a conversation, let's have that conversation right now.
Absolutely.
I'm down.
Absolutely.
But you want to go and you want to go out on your little tirade, that's fine. I haven't even seen it. I don't care to see it. I really don't. And like Anthony said, Anthony's the one that wrote the tweet.
He blocked me,
but I said what I said. So when he commented on that, I came back and I said, look, I'm not going to apologize for my opinion. I will apologize that it hurt your feelings, but unfortunately,
then again, that's I actually cut that. I had a piece on this on my video about people when the feelings get hurt. I never set out to upset anybody. I never set out to offend anybody. Offense is always taken, it's never given. But if I say something that upsets you, that's not my problem. It's your problem. You need to get your feelings in check. If I can mention something about a game or a gaming platform or a movie or a TV series or anything, and I say, this movie was rubbish because X. This game's not very good. Speaking in Northern English terms, this game's shit because if someone takes offence to that, then that's pathetic. That really is. Come back at me and tell me why I'm wrong, but don't block me and don't say I've hurt your feelings.
So here's my issue. When he wrote back and I wrote back, I really had nothing else to say, right? But I feel like when he blocked me, I didn't even realize he blocked me because I'm not a Twitter guy, right? I just got into Twitter because I realized all the Stadia people were in Twitter, right?
I only found out because then his comments didn't show up in that chain anymore.
Yeah, I seen it says this person you can't. I was like, exactly. He blocked me. So then 5 hours later, Ray was like, "Oh man, what happened? Did you know Avery was going in on you for like 5 hours?" Like what? So he was like, "Oh, you could see it all." At that point, I'm like, again, like I said, it's my thing is this. Bro, why you block me but then talk about me? I figure you'll block me to shut me up. That should be a thing. Let me block him because he's going to say something. I don't want to go into it. But you block me and then talk about me.
The thing is, just to let you know, as you're not a Twitter guy, if they block you, they can still see your tweets. They can still see what you're involved in. So my advice would be to block them as well, because then they can't see it. I know. I'm not doing it. It's not a tit for tat, but I think if they block me, why should they still be able to see my stuff?
You can still see their tweets because if they're public, you just sign out of your account and then you can just go to twitter.com, whatever, and then you can see all the tweets. So even if
Dave actually commented on a chain with me, right? Yeah, we were on another chain there. Go ahead, Anthony.
No, I was still able to see it when it was in my notifications. That happened. Like, it was weird when I seen the notification of how much you could see, because if it's too much, you can't see much. Right. And then you're supposed to click on it to be able to see it. But when I clicked on it, then that's when it told me I couldn't see it. My stance is this. I just feel like it's a sucker move to block me, but then still talk about me because you're trying to paint a narrative, right?
That's
because
it.
You can't really paint a narrative if the person, again, that's why people might not like my stuff I do, but I like to say stuff live. You know why? Because if I'm lying, you could be in the comments at least and be like, he is lying, and tell everything, and people be reading. Like, for instance, I'm gonna say it, because it's just part of a story, and I won't go into it. But MN2K and Project Storm had issues with Keith and Hell Monkey, right?
Yeah.
And Hell Monkey, I gotta give him credit. He was like, bro, put me on live, and he's
Absolutely.
right. Because I explained everything. And MN2K and then was like, nah, you should have put me on. First of all, Ace is the one in control of the show. So Ace didn't put you on, not him. So I feel like for me, right, the Hell Monkey was like, put me on, right? So if it was me, I would have said, you know what? I'm going live right now. I watched the whole audience with a jump ship because you don't want to let me speak my piece.
See, I was in that.
Hear me.
I watched that, and I agree that, and this is one of the things that I won't do. I'm talking about Avery because he blocked me, and that's I've got no opportunity because, like I said in my video, if you want to talk to me and disagree with me, either come on my show or I'll come on yours or whatever, and we can talk about it. Hell Monkey was there, but they weren't allowing him to defend himself or put his point across, which that I totally disagree with. So Project Storm and MM2K, love them both to bits, but in that instance, they were in the wrong because he was there to defend his point or his position, but they were just talking about him as if he wasn't there.
Ignoring it. If you read the crowd was like, because you would think, okay, it was on their show, they look like the better people, but no, the crowd was starting to turn like, well, why won't you let them on? Because it does make you think. This guy is like, I will come on right now.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, downplaying is like, but you're still talking about the situation and he's in the chat. So it's like, wait a minute, hold on, And
I'll say something about Hell Monkey here real quick too, because I had a little converse with him on Twitter a while back when everybody was really pushing GeForce Now. I was like, I like to play Rocket League. They're like, you can play Rocket League on GeForce Now. So I went out, took my son to hockey practice. I jumped on my phone. It said I had 31 minutes to wait. I said, this is bullshit. So I went ahead and I made a tweet about it, and I was like, I'm not going to wait 31 minutes to play my game. I don't care if I play it on my phone or not.
When you have to go in the queue on GeForce,
right? Because I'm on the free tier. And he had, somebody had made a comment about, I should pay for it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I could pay for it, but I'm not going to. That's the point of a free tier, right? Mm-hmm. Well, then he had made a comment about how, I shouldn't be on wireless or something along those lines, and I should hardwire. And I came back and I said, look, man, if you can tell me how I can hardwire my phone, it is on. Like, I'm down. And this is where I'm giving him credit. He was like, I missed the mobile part. My bad. Put his hands up and was like, cool. He came at me. I made my piece. He said, all right, yes, you're right. I didn't read that right. That's the way that transaction should go. Yeah. And that's the way a lot of these conversations through tweets and things don't happen. So yes, I said what I said on last week's show. Okay. And I still stand by exactly why I said what I said, because there was proof in the pudding, obviously. Okay. But then you come out, you make a comment back, not even speaking to me directly, speaking to you, Anthony, because he knows you, like I'm not even there, speaking in third person and shit. And then as soon as I respond to it and say what I say, I'm blocked. Mm-hmm. Let's have that conversation. You don't want to have it here. You want to do it in DMs? I don't need to hide from people. I'm right here.
This is
so let's do that.
It's half the battle with echo chambers and people within their own little bubbles.
Because Ryzak ain't no mother effing yes man.
Right, man, I told you from the get-go, too. Like, when you asked me if I wanted to do this show, you said, hey, man, there might be a lot of people that aren't going to like you because of me, or they're not going to like what you want to say. And I will say the same thing out in public that I told you on the phone. I've got 106 subscribers, folks, on YouTube. I'm looking right here right now. I love every single one of y'all. But if I say something you don't like and you don't want to follow me, I'm still going to wake up in the morning. I'm still going to kiss my wife. I'm still going to be a damn good dad to my kids. I'm still going to go to work, and I'm still going to play fucking video games. If nobody likes that, I don't give a shit. Yeah. Sorry. I'll keep making game over so that I can watch it. But I'm going to be real with you guys, and that's why I'm here. And I feel like I've got that off my chest now.
This is it, and this is one of the things that why I started the new channel is because my current channel, I've got 539 subscribers, but a lot of, a chunk of them came from 2 years ago when I first started the channel. And then some of them have come through a couple of giveaways I've done. So I want the audience to be there for me and the content, and not because I'm giving away something this stream, so they all come and subscribe and then they unsubscribe 2 days later and stuff like that. And like you've just said, Ryzak, being real, being yourself, not being a fake version of you. If you've got something to say, you say it. If you've got an opinion or a position on something, you hold that position.
Yeah.
And even if people say, well, because you think that, I'm going to have to unsubscribe, it's like, well, unfortunately, I'm sorry you feel that way, but there's the door.
I do, and I apologize that I hurt his feelings, but I'm not going to apologize for having an opinion.
And the other thing, Ray's just can you bring Ray's comment up, Jeff?
Yeah.
Respect means that you accept somebody for who they are, even when they're different. 100% spot on. Respect doesn't mean always agreeing with someone. It doesn't mean always being kind with someone. Right. It doesn't mean always being nice. You can not fall out, but you can have a heated debate with someone, but still respect the other person. I can respect people that I don't even like, but because of the way they are, I respect them for it. Margaret Thatcher, when she was Prime Minister, she was an absolute. She was horrible, but I had 100% respect for her because of the way she was. She didn't change her mind. She steadfast stuck by her decisions, and she was totally the Iron Lady. Didn't like her, but 100% respect.
Yeah. I mean, I think. Oh, go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
Oh, we've lost audio, Jeff.
Oh no, he's just streaming. This is what he does. We're just pretty soon you'll hear blue fire kicking in. And...
There you go. There we go. You guys hear me? We're good?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you.
There on my retro stream, there's a guy that drops into my chat every week. And him and his kids, they come out. That's part of their Friday night is to come and watch me do bad at retro video games.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Politically, we are as far apart as any two people can be when it comes. And I'm not going to get into where left, right, up, down doesn't matter. Right. But if you lined up a spectrum, we're at opposite ends. Mm-hmm. But we've been friends forever. I saw him. There's another lady. We haven't seen each other in 2 years. We got together the other day outside having a hot dog. She was traveling nearby. It was near where my parents live and he lives. We got together. Those two, again, were as far apart politically, and this one lady, Anne, she drops into my retro streams when she can too. She even she blocked me on Twitter once, and she said, I blocked you because you said something that wasn't smart. And I said, I'm sorry that you followed me on Twitter expecting something smart. I'm sorry, that's my bad that you thought I was actually going to say something intelligent. I'm sorry that you had that wrong opinion of me. Now she just mutes me and gets on with it or just ignores it, right? But again, these are two people who, and there's a whole bunch of them that they're my good friends, but we are as far apart politically, and I will make fun of them. They will make fun of me, but at the end of the day, we went out for a hot dog in a Coke the other day.
But there's people out there that are and they've got friends and they'll be at work and things like that, and they won't discuss the political positions because I don't mind talking about mine, but I know people are sometimes reluctant because they might, they fear losing friends. Now, if someone's going to fall out with me because of my political position, is that person a friend? Not really.
Yeah, then you wasn't friends anyway.
I think it's worse than the U.S. I think there's a bigger. I think politically, and we don't have to talk about that. That can be another show. But I think in the U.S., I think there's a bigger divide than especially us, Dave, in the Commonwealth.
Yeah, but we're getting there.
Listen,
we're slowly getting there.
My thing is, I'm just got to be me all the time, man. Whatever subject, right? And I'm not gonna bend. But the thing is, if I just continue being me, the people who will like me for me would be like, oh, that's just Anthony, right? Whether I'm at work or wherever. Ryzak even said, he said, man, one night I came on the Sandy Anthony show, which is a show I do with my wife, 9 o'clock every Thursday night. Oh, tonight. And we was talking about at the time about religion, and Ryzak was like, "Whoa!" He said it's crazy. Him and his wife, they was just there talking. That's something people don't touch. But it was just a conversation and just a question, right?
Again, so, I've got no doubt that my religious position would lose me friends.
Oh yeah,
100%, and especially friends that are. And forgive me, guys, but Americans are much more religious than we're a bit of a secular nation, even though the Queen's head of the church, we've got our own religion, Church of England. But I don't. So I try and stay away from religion. I've fallen out with people so many times over it, but not because I try and push my religious beliefs on because I haven't got any, but because they try and push theirs onto me, and I defend my position, and they don't like it. But again, it's that, are they a friend? Are they really a friend if they can't respect my views?
Because at the end of the day, it's just your view, right? So it's like, why would your view change what happens in my household, right? It's like you're living your life wherever, and you could come out and say, I don't like blah, blah, blah. You know what? If I grow to like you and I like your personality, what you do in your own time versus when we're together, you know?
No, and I'll segue kind of into this. You know, that we talk about the gaming tribalism. That seems to be a hot term for everybody here in the past year or two, right? Tribalism as a thing is everywhere.
Oh, it's human nature.
You know, you guys all like a sports team. That's tribalism. You guys all, you know people that like a certain religion and don't respect another religion. That's tribalism. Your nations are tribalism. The flag that you fly behind you, Jeff, that's tribalism. Like, it's not meant to be disrespectful, but it's everywhere. And I asked somebody one time on Twitter, because they get on this rant about how the people in the Stadia community have become toxic, right? Why is it not? That's my question, and maybe you guys can answer this. Why is it not okay to like one thing? Why do you have to like everything?
You don't.
You can be open-minded and have respect for other things, but what if something is preferably better for you than something else? Why is that a problem all of a sudden? It's like, if we're not, you know, we have to say cloud gaming now. Like, I can't just say that I like Stadia because God, Luna does something nice, or xCloud does something nice, or PS Now does something nice. Like, if you don't play all four of them, you know, you're a bad guy. I don't understand that. Right? No. When you turn right around the corner and you go root for your favorite sports team, but you can't like the others, or your favorite religion, or your country, or a color, or whatever it is, tribalism is everywhere. And this gaming tribalism term really irks me lately, because everybody wants to point it back at a select few and think that they're above everybody, and I just cannot stand it, man.
For me, it's gaming. I've been gaming since year dot. I was Xbox for a few years, and then I went over to PlayStation. And there's always, even amongst friends, there's still that little bit of tribalism. But for me, just water off a duck's back, straight over my head. Not interested. Cloud gaming is just another one addition and cloud gaming. The banner incorporates obviously Luna, Stadia, GeForce Now, everyone, PS Now, all that sort of stuff. It's just another platform. For me, it's just the game. It's all about the games. I don't care if it runs in 8K, 120 frames per second. 30 frames per second is absolutely fine for me. 1080p is absolutely fine for me. It's the games. I want to be able to play the Resident Evils. I want to be able to play The Last of Us. I want to be able to play Dying Light 2, which is the one I'm waiting for to come out. That's not going to come out for Stadia, so I'll have to get it for PlayStation.
I'm an Xboxer. I still play with Xbox. I have Game Pass. I play in the cloud. Everybody's constantly, the games are on Xbox. You know, there's so many games on Game Pass. I sat there last night in bed and I scrolled through. Yes, I am Rocket League tribalism. Okay, I love Rocket League, and there's no other game like Rocket League that I'll play.
Rocket League shite.
I sat there and I scrolled through Game Pass last night, and there's literally like 3 or 4 games on there that I want to play. And I scrolled through 120 games. I mean, I don't care if there's a quantity there. I want quality. Okay. And yes, I've played the Gears of War. I have no desire to play them again.
Same as me.
I've played a lot of those games that are
Halo,
on there.
no interest anymore.
I played all the Halos. I don't want to play them for a third, fourth, fifth time. So the fact that you have one there is great for some. It's not great for me. Well, where I wanted to go with this, Anthony, is we get to that tribalism thing. We get to where everybody hates. Jeff, do you mind if I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I want to get us talking about something real quick. Because we can sit here and talk about
the article. I have that article queued up.
You do?
I do.
Do you have both of them?
I have one of them. There's two?
Yeah, there's two.
Okay.
This one right here. I'll go ahead because I got it ready.
All right.
Go ahead and share that, or add it to the stream. This thing right here. Okay.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah.
I wanna just walk through this a little bit real quick. This is by a website called Windows Central. Windows is obviously Microsoft.
Yeah.
The title right here above it says Google problems. So they actually have a whole section where they just trash Google. Okay. Google's anti-competitive Android moves could impact Xbox and Windows 11. Oh my God, let's not think about anybody else, just what it's going to impact for you, right? And then the subtitle, Google sucks, but you knew that. And guess who it's by? This tool right here. And yeah, I said tool because he is one. It's Jez Corden. He's the biggest Microsoft Xbox booty hole that you can find. That's all he wants to do is trash on anything that's not Microsoft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you go through this article, and this was a topic on Twitter today, there's an antitrust lawsuit against Google right now that's being brought to them by the states, the United States, like the states within the United States.
It's been for a while though, that
it has been, right?
Yeah.
It has been. So it says it's a part of a larger pushback in the U.S. into anti-competitive monopolistic practices by big tech. Is Google the only big tech? Because I'm pretty sure that Amazon is big tech, and I'm pretty sure that Microsoft is
Apple,
big tech.
Microsoft.
How many lawsuits has Microsoft have anti-competitive lawsuits that Microsoft has had to, right? Because they back in the day when they came out with an operating system, they put Internet Explorer built right in, and you couldn't get rid of it. And everyone was up in arms. So,
I think just to jump in here, I think if I'm right, and I'm not always right, I admit that. This is to do with Google have their cake and eat it, because they control the internet pretty much. And we've seen where I think it was what was that platform that was an alternative to Twitter? I can't remember what it was called now, but a lot of people. Facebook? What was it called? No. It'll come to me. But basically, people were getting kicked off Twitter for having not the right opinions, so they were getting banned. They were setting up accounts on this other platform where they weren't. People could say whatever they wanted, whatever your position was on any topic, it wouldn't get vetted or blocked. Amazon, with Google, literally removed them off the internet. They stopped allowing them to use the servers. So they literally have the power to shut somebody down. And it was a big hoo-ha about free speech. It was a big hoo-ha about, because they're allowing people to express opinions that aren't the right opinions, they pulled a service off the internet. And I think that's what this is about. I mean, I support, if it's about that, I do support it.
I'll keep going. What I wanted to start with by just reading through this first bit is just how negative the beginning of this article is and how hateful, right? And it goes on to say, as part of legal proceedings, prosecution is outlining a range of scummy moves by everyone's favorite data harvesting search mob. All of these companies are harvesting your data. And if you don't believe that, I've got some swampland in Alaska that I want to sell you. Okay. You don't think that Microsoft has taken data off of all of their Xbox Live users? You don't think that? Remember when they put out the Kinect and they were talking about how the Kinect was going to be on all the time? They'd be able to see what you were doing in your house when you didn't have your Xbox on, because the Xbox doesn't turn off; it's always on, right? So I think that this is really funny. It goes on down here to talk about the moves range from Android handset manufacturers to pre-install up to 30 Google services, give them favorable home screen placement. Somebody sounds like they're bitter because they're not getting favorable home screen placement, while making them impossible to delete. They talk about how they're going to ditch installable APKs for apps. But the big part is when they get down here. Among the most impactful, because now we're putting somebody above somebody else, is for Microsoft potentially is the new change to subscription-based services, which will, like Apple's iOS, I'm surprised they threw Apple in here, be banned from informing users how to sign up via the web. Okay, first off, it's not Google's position to inform your people how to sign up for your service. Okay. Number two, the fact that you do services like Office, OneDrive, and now Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. I believe Google has a subscription service called Stadia. So that's going to affect Microsoft's subscription-based service, right? Mm-hmm. And beyond, they have to give Google a 30% cut of in-app subscriptions, or they'll be banned from helping users to sign up via third-party web base. Does that, Jeff? This is the one thing I sent you earlier, and I wanted to get your opinion on it because I know that you are big Google. You understand what's going on here, and I have an answer to this that we can go to later. But I wanted to get your guys' feedback on that first, and I want to start with Jeff.
Oops, wrong one. You know what? It's just business. It's just they all do it, right? You know, you sent this article today. I kind of glanced at it. I didn't even read the whole thing because I was just like, oh, this is just, you're talking about you can't uninstall apps. Really? Can I uninstall Internet Explorer? No. Now, every time I do something, there's this stupid little weather temperature bullshit that shows up on my Windows machine that I have to, every time I reboot it, comes back and I have to right click and I got to go get rid of it. So, he's just looking, and I even said to you in the chat, in the private chat we had earlier, I said, I'll just write my own article saying why Google is great. Right? Now, I'm openly, no offense, Dave, and if you want to block me, sure, go ahead. I'm not an Apple person. I never have. I haven't liked Apple since the Macintosh days. I liked Apple. I have Apple too. And then once they started going to 68,000 series chip instead of Intel, that was it. I was done with them. And I've hated them ever since. That's fine. You're an Apple guy, I gather. I don't know.
I'm not an Apple fanboy. The reason I've got an Apple phone is because I've had them up since the 5, I think, and I just the not this one, the one previous to that. I did go for Samsung, and I just couldn't get used to the interface, so I sent it back, and they sent me an iPhone 10 or X at the time. Yeah. So I've now got a 12. It's purely because I know how to use it. I use a normal PC. I've not got Apple, anything else apart from my iPad.
But you know what?
I'm not a fanboy.
I'm a fanboy. We all have Google phones. I've got my Google Glass sitting right there. Google listens to all my conversations.
I'm not a fan of Google.
And it serves me up ads,
but I love Stadia.
I got a Windows machine right here. I don't like it. I don't like Windows. I installed the trial of Windows 11 on VirtualBox.
Let me ask you a question, Jeff. Let me ask you a question. You just called yourself a Google fanboy. Does that cover everything? The phone, the search engine, all that sort of stuff. What's your position on? Peer-to-peer sharing, or as it's more commonly known, piracy. People sharing a movie across files, right? Okay. The websites get sued for doing this, but Google doesn't. Why is that? Google, they're saying because the websites say on a peer-to-peer sharing platform, we're not responsible for the files that are shared. We just give people that opportunity to share these files, but the websites get in trouble. Why doesn't Google get in trouble? Because they're allowing them websites to exist. Are they a publisher or are they a platform? The same goes for YouTube. The same goes for Facebook. If you start moderating what people put and don't put, you are therefore a publisher and are liable.
Yep, that's a good point.
But Google get away with it because they had it written into the Millennium Act that they're protected by law from being sued, but they can still remove people's comments, which makes them a publisher.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Ryzak. What would you? There was a defense of this article, or what was your other article?
There is. Anthony, what's your take on it?
Yeah. So let me jump in there real quick. I want to segued into this with tribalism. I just wanted to give my take. Dave was saying that he likes to play games and wherever the game goes, whatever. Ryzak, you were saying that you know, you like you know, a specific game and you'll play whatever. Here's my stance on gaming. I've been playing games since Atari ColecoVision, right? I was around for the Nintendo sucks because Genesis is better, those wars, right? And on and on and on and on and on. So cloud, obviously, I've been playing Stadia since November 21st, right? No, November 19th is still the first day, but on the web, right? So me personally, I can't go back to a console as my primary. Now, I'm sure there might be a God of War, the next God of War come out, God of War Ragnarok. I have to play it because I played them all. Now, I will rent it through GameFly, play it on my PlayStation 4, beat it, and send it back. Now, here's my stance. I just want to put this out there. I'm one of those one and done guys. You're not going to see me having Disney Plus and Netflix and Hulu and I want to find the one thing, right, that could fit the most amount of holes, and that's what I'm paying for. So Stadia for me, again, I always say Stadia is going to be the king of the cloud because it allows you to buy games. Now, people, I seen somebody yesterday said, "Oh, that's dumb. Until Stadia become a subscription only." I said, "What? That's Stadia's saving grace." Because as great as Game Pass is, it still don't get every game, right? So if my stance is I want a one and done. I want to pay for something and I want that to fit as many holes. But imagine a real world circumstance. My favorite game is Marvel Avengers. I can't get that on Game Pass. It was on PlayStation Now and it left on the 5th. And you can't buy games on PlayStation Now. It was on PlayStation Now and it left on the 5th. And so you can't buy games on PlayStation Now, then you can't even get that game back on PlayStation Now.
No, yeah, but PlayStation Now was they're going to be working on it, but it was more of an add-on if you owned a PlayStation, so you could buy from the PlayStation Store the games.
Here's the thing. So it's cool because a guy made a video and he was saying, "Oh, Sony sold 116 million units, and why is there only 2 million PlayStation Now subscriptions?" And I made a video and said that's because PlayStation Now was only what you said, a substitution for PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games because the PlayStation 4 had no backwards compatibility, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. So that's the reason it's not that popular, because its business model isn't to be the next Game Pass. Its business model was only to allow you to play the games that couldn't cross over. Now, so I get that, right? I'm just saying that my stance on Stadia is because one, it's the cloud. I love the cloud now, right? No downloading, no installs. I just love it, right? Two, I could say, hey, I could buy this game and not get pro, right? Because I just only want that game. My thing is this. I'm the guy who will play a game for years. I played Destiny Part 1, Part 2 for 5.5 years, and I missed out on so many games because I'll play a live service game. I always said it. Live service is one of these things where when your favorite game, back in the day, if you had Zelda on Nintendo and you beat it, you was like, man, I wish they continued it, but it was over. A live service is a way to make your favorite game like Marvel Avengers, right? They're going to have the Black Panther thing comes out in August, and now I got new content. Well, long story short, that's why I play Stadia, right? Because Stadia does, so again, I'm a content creator. Where else can I sit in my car easy, because I know somebody can say you could do it elsewhere, but easily sit in my car on my phone with a controller and still make content on my lunch break streaming to YouTube, right? So long story short, Stadia fits all that. Now, when we get into this stuff, they're talking about the 30%, right? And I agree with Ryzak, that's kind of crazy if not Ryzak, Dave, if Google doesn't take fault, but they allow people, blah, 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 right? But again, one of you guys, I think Ryzak said, is business, because Epic, right? Do you know that Epic charges so it's 30% that people get when they have Fortnite on their platform. And PlayStation 4 or PlayStation as a whole made 1 month they made Epic made $50 million. So PlayStation got 30% of that, right? So we could go up and down, and then Google wanted to say, hey, we'll only make 10% if you put Fortnite on our platform, right?
Well, no, Epic said to Google, hey, take less of a cut and we'll put this on your platform.
Right. So thank you. So at the end of the day though, man, it's business. And so it's crazy because articles like this, when it's called when it's not malicious, but it's a derogatory name, right?
Yep.
Like it instantly is like you already got the narrative painted. Just give us news and let us say, "Oh, yes or no." But you paint the narrative for us to get us in the mindset because people know the hateful narrative is popular right now.
Yep.
Yeah, but they're just preaching. They're just preaching to their followers. They need to make content. So
it's the echo chamber.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
Pat themselves on the back.
It's their tribe.
Yeah, it's all just the same, right? Yep. Trump will say whatever to the Trumpians. Joe Biden and the people in the left side there, I don't know their names. They do the same thing, right? Whoever, if you're a Trump lover or a Trump hater, you're gonna follow whatever it is you follow.
That's right.
If you love Trump, you're gonna follow everything he says. I know
that's a shame.
Great. If you love Biden and you love all those other people, you're gonna follow. Same within Canada, same in Britain. Dave didn't like Margaret Thatcher. He may or may not like the new guy, Boris, and he may or he may not. But if he does, he's gonna follow everything he says. And that's
no. I don't operate that way. Okay. I love Boris Johnson. He's an absolute clown, but and this is sort of the same thing where we've got the Conservatives and we've got Labour. They're the two main parties that you're voting on every 4 years or whatever it is. Right. But I'm not a single issue voter. I don't lock onto something and say, right, I'm voting for them for that. Forget everything else. I look at
because you're open
party, and then sometimes I don't vote because they're both pretty much saying the same shit, just different ways. And this is the problem with these kind of things. Again, it's that echo chamber. They're listening to the same people that say you're so right, you're brilliant, and they love it. But anyone that says don't agree with that, and here's why, they'll go, block you because I don't like what you're saying and you're offending me.
So are you saying that they're all yes men?
Yes, exactly what he's saying.
Absolutely.
Well, that's why, I disagree with Jeff because what you can call yourself whatever, but I can't call myself a fanboy. I feel like the fanboy crossed the threshold of a yes man. I'll do everything. So I could be a fan because here's the thing. When I used to be into politics, I would drive my car, and I just got into it because I had free satellite radio for a couple months. So I would listen to CNN. And as soon as I would switch the dial to Fox, I listened to back and forth, and I just laughed at both of them. They both was dumb as hell. I wouldn't take a side. I just, I like to listen to both, but I feel like even if, right, I was a diehard, let's say Eagles fan, right? Mm-hmm. You have to be able to say, yes, it's my team, but damn, they made a dumb play. Like the whole thing before where somebody got mad because who was that? Oh, that was Duncan and them did they first show for when they was part of SBCN, and they first show what have Stadia done now. And so they first show they said John Justice should have got fired, or not John Justice, Phil Harrison, right? Phil Harrison should have got fired. So I'm name dropping, so just please forgive me, but it's no yes man. So Jack got upset. So Jack Delipsy, I'm messing up your name, and I have no problem with Jack, but it's just the news. It's news. So if we could say the prime minister's name, right? If we could say Trump, we could say whatever. I don't see why I can't say someone's name in a story. It's just a story, right? So Jack got upset by that. So the thing is, I don't want to get that radical where I don't want the person to say somebody in Stadia should have got fired, right? It's like, that's your opinion. You felt, hey, he should have been, helping to change the ship the way you would have liked. So maybe she got fired. That's like your favorite team, right? You're like, yo, the coach sucks. We need a new coach. No, you can't say that because you're a fan. That's I can't get behind.
No, we get it all the time. With we had it quite recently with going back to the Euro Championships that England are in, and we played against Scotland in the group stages, and England and Scotland is like a big rivalry there. It goes back years and years and years. And we drew against them. We didn't win. We didn't lose. And everyone was, that's it, England, they're going out, blah, 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 blah. But there's those diehard fans that won't listen to criticism at all, even though they played terrible, even though they weren't up to speed. They were making mistakes and they were sloppy and defense was all over the place, and they didn't have that killer instinct. But there's people that are so diehard, blinded that they won't have a bad word said against them. They won't listen to criticism, and that is the biggest problem. Not only in sporting world, in gaming, in politics, in everything. Don't be a dick about it, but if you've got criticism to put it across. Just put it across, but don't be a dick about it.
No, that's why I made those comparisons amongst those things with all of this, gaming tribalism stuff that we're hearing, because it's everywhere and everybody does it. Everybody does it, but we just want to pick and choose what we want to argue about.
People say that I stay out of it. I think Lee dropped in earlier, Cloud Gaming Dad, and he said that I stay out of it, and you can't argue with stupid. And I agree. Sometimes it's better to just stay out of it. But recently, I need to speak up.
Let me go ahead and run through this part real quick, and then
guys,
can I finish this topic? You got to go.
I was going to say I've got to shoot. It's 5 to midnight over here, so
thanks for coming in, Dave. Tell people how they can find you if they don't already know.
I've got the channel Codex Entertainment, which is it's going through a bit of a transitional period at the minute, so I've not done anything for a while. But I've also got Codex Gaming as well, where I stream every Friday, 8:00. And I'm doing Wildlands at the moment. That's my 100% Stadia Codex Gaming. There we go. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. Have a good night.
No worries. And you guys. See you later.
All right, go Canada, go.
Thank you for being here. All right, so let's drop through this right quick. That last article that I showed you was written today. This article that is straight from Google. Straight from the senior director of public policy was put out yesterday. Okay. Now take it as you will. This is Google. You're getting it from Google. Maybe you don't want to hear it from Google, whatever. I get it. Everybody's got a different way of looking at things, but I always like the source. It goes into saying that, a lawsuit that ignores choice on Android and Google Play. Today, anyone, including our competitors, can customize and build devices with Android operating system for free. They built an app store, Google Play, that helps people download apps on their devices. You can choose to download the app from a rival app store or directly from a developer's website. We don't impose the same restrictions as other mobile operating systems do. So it's strange that a group of state attorneys generals chose to file a lawsuit attacking a system that provides more openness and choice to others. So my first complaint with all of this thing is, why are the states taking care of this? Is somebody not getting a kickback somewhere? Is that what this is about? Somebody's not getting their donation or their funds, so they're choosing to go after Google about this, right? It says the complaint mimics a similarly meritless. God, I can't talk. Meritless lawsuit filed by the large app developer Epic Games, which we all know that they were just in the news recently for their their lawsuit with Apple, which has benefited from Android's openness by distributing its Fortnite app outside of Google Play. I was actually one of the ones that downloaded Fortnite Mobile when it came out, and you could get it from the Samsung store, which is a third-party app store on Android. Google Play competes vigorously and fearlessly. The complaint limits its definition of the app marketplace to Android devices only. This completely ignores the competition we face from other platforms, such as Apple's incredibly successful App Store. You see the difference in how this is written compared to the other one?
Of course.
We compete for both developers and consumers, and if we're not providing them the best experience on Google Play, they have other alternatives to choose from. It goes into talking about more about choice, talking about Android devices, carriers. They even throw in the Amazon Fire tablet with preloaded with a competitive app store and no Google Play store. Okay. Right here, this is an important part. Consumers can side load apps, meaning they can download them from a developer's website directly without going through Google Play at all. Yep. So the argument that they're going to talk about this 30%, which I'm going to get to here on the next paragraph. It's really meritless because you can go around that. I can download something from a website and use it on my Android. That's how customizable it is. You can't do that on iOS, right? Nope. Yep. So let's drop down here. This is the part that I really wanted to get to. Let's see. The complaint suggests that Google Play somehow inhibits developers' ability to grow, even though developers have a range of distribution options on Android. We're proud that as of February 2020, developers had earned over $80 billion through the Google Play. And in 2020, the Android app economy, including Google Play, helps create nearly 2 million American jobs. And then we get into it, 100 billion apps every day. In 2019, it prevented 1.9 billion malware installs. The economic model, this paragraph right here is really what I wanted to highlight in this whole thing. Under our Google Play billing policy, the 3%, guys, the 3% of developers who actually sell digital products or content using Google Play's billing system are subject to a progressive service fee. 15% on the first million earned. 99%, this is huge, 99% of developers who pay any fee earn less than $1 million. So that's 99% of the apps that are out on the Google Play Store do not even cross that $1 million threshold and are free.
Right.
They're free. And then 30%, this is where Microsoft comes into the picture, of people, or 30% earnings above $1 million. Some large app developers like Epic want preferential rates and want to use their own payment processing system, but that would harm the ecosystem as a whole. Why? First, our current business model benefits the overwhelming majority of developers. About 97% of developers don't sell digital content on Google Play and therefore aren't subject to the service fee. How is Microsoft not a part of that? They can do their own thing. Nobody's stopping them. Nobody's telling them they have to use Google Play. Less than 0.1% of developers who are the largest and most profitable on Google Play are subject to 30% service fee on some transactions. The lawsuit is essentially on behalf of that 0.1% of developers. Moreover, the complaint conspicuously fails to mention that our fee is comparable to other rival digital stores. Google Play, 15 to 30%. The Amazon App Store is 20 to 30. The Galaxy Store is only 30. And then the Apple iOS store is 15 to 30, just like Google Play.
Yep.
But we're going to hold the gun to Google's head. The reason that they do this is because they're looking out for that 99.9% of the other small developers that aren't making that money.
Right.
And so if they can charge those bigger, larger firms, then they can help provide the security and the platforms for those people like me. I've never made an app before, but what if I decided I wanted to make one? They want my creativity. They want my content to come out there. And so they're doing this to help protect the little guys, right? When I saw that first article, I started digging and I found this one, the fact that it was a day before. So the fact that you wrote that smear campaign article after this came out, number one, says a lot about the person that wrote it. And I already said my piece about him. But number two, the lawsuit itself is trying to say that Google is taking advantage of these big companies. I grew up in DC. I've listened to politics my whole life. Anthony, you alluded to your show with your wife the other day. In my house, we don't talk politics and we don't talk religion because it leads to nothing but trouble because everybody gets so passionate about it.
Yeah.
But the one thing I learned living in DC, and you guys probably know as adults, if you want to know the truth, follow the money. If somebody's coming after Google, they're not getting their share.
Yep.
That's what I got to say about that. What do you guys think?
I as you know, I play Fortnite, and since I have my GeForce now, I've been back into it. I used to play it. I had the little app that was on my phone that would then download the updates. Right. And because that was the only way to do it. And I got into it because my son wanted me to play. And Ryzak, you do the same thing. If there's something that your children want you to do, even if you don't like it, you're still going to jump in and with both feet and you're going to
absolutely
do it. I saw a funny TikTok of there was some, middle-aged man, kind of overweight like us, trying to learn how to do some sort of dance because his daughter was trying to teach him. He's on the beach and his daughter's trying to teach him how to do some TikTok dance. And he's in there completely out of his element, but his kid wanted him to do it. So I installed Fortnite again with some app that they wrote that then helped sideload it. Yeah, you can sideload anything.
Fortnite launcher.
Yeah, whatever it was called. Yes, you can go and sideload. Not everybody knows how to do that. So the Play stores just make it easier. It costs, everyone thinks, oh, Google makes a gazillion dollars. Still costs them money to do it. Still costs people time and energy. And, they're just, And I know one of the topics we were going to discuss, but we didn't, and I think we nixed it, was the price of that game.
Yeah.
That was extra, was like double the price of everywhere else. Now they backed it and made it. But again, it costs money to port a game over, and they were just trying to recoup some of their losses. I can't blame them for that. And like
I do
before,
give them credit for doing an about face and changing it when they saw that it upset people. That's good on their part.
Good on their. They make. You know what? I made a mistake. Sure. And I don't have unlimited funds to buy games.
Right.
And so am I going to buy a game from a big AAA 2-lettered company who copy and paste the same crap every year? Or am I going to go and support a little indie game? Or 2 or 3 little indie games in the same price that it would cost me to buy. And I know we will talk about it in August. So, yeah. And speaking of that, I want to mention one final thing, and I know we've gone way the heck overboard.
And we're 4 minutes over time. Last week.
Stop showing me these stupid tips, you piece of.
Last week we were only over because we spent 15 minutes waiting on you to show up.
Yeah, right.
So I just want to talk. This is coming up next week. Okay. And there was a lot of tweets and stuff. And, there's some interesting topics in here. But what got everybody was excited was day 2 right here. This one here. This one here. There we go. Here she is. Stadia keynote.
Yep.
And
I think it's only 15 minutes, right?
Yes, it is. And then, there's going to be more time porting. And again, they're going to be talking about, here's some product managers. And, all I want to say is this is not meant for you guys. This is not meant for the Stadia gamers. This is meant for developers. This is meant for Richard over at in the Liquid Bit guys and all those other teams. It's not meant for the Stadia content creators. It's not meant for Anthony. It's not meant for me. It's not meant for anything. It's meant for those people. The stuff is good. Don't come back saying, "Oh, there's this." They didn't talk about this. They didn't talk about that.
I'm excited about that 1255 to 125 part, though. I will be honest, because I'll be excited to see what they talk about and if they talk about any kind of inclusion with some of these other systems, or if it's just strictly going to be how they're going to organize gaming on YouTube.
What do you mean?
Down there, it says connecting with gaming creators, 4 things developers should know.
These are content creators who work with developers. It's not going to be these guys don't stream Stadia. They stream other stuff, and it's to give developers an idea on how to work with creators, which may benefit us in the future.
Right. But reading between the lines
has nothing to do with us. Same thing when Google I/O was. I put out a tweet that said, if you're expecting
that was totally about me.
You don't understand Google I/O. Right. And same thing, people are like, oh, Google should have done this at E3. And she'll go, no, you don't obviously understand what the platform is. You just see a couple of letters. You're like, oh, well, Google should be doing this. No, they shouldn't. EA wasn't at that. They're doing their own thing. Google will do their own thing. This is not for content creators. This is not for streamers. This is not for gamers. This is for developers. These are people who want, Ryzak doesn't write code. I write code. So some of the other sessions kind of interest me. But right. And I highlight these because they're actually talking about the gaming and the Stadia, but there's going to be people going, there's going to be a lot of squawking next week that Google didn't say this or Google didn't. Why didn't they have this streamer on? And why didn't they have this? And why didn't they talk about, because that's not the point. You need to understand the point.
No, but to just piggyback on that, I am interested in that one because reading between the lines, I want to see what these content creators share with those gaming developers as to what works for them and what doesn't work for them, because that will lead to decisions down the line, and that's what I'm interested to hear.
Sure, correct. Yeah, but it's not going to be, I'm going to start streaming Stadia.
Yeah, exactly. We're not integrating Stadia into YouTube right now. Like, it's not going to to be that.
No,
it might not even be about Stadia.
If these content creators say some interesting things that then developers, like your Liquid Bits and like your other companies who may or may not be thinking about putting something. I forget the name of the company, but they did the Play Jam where they had the pinball thing that I was playing the demo, right? And people like that. How are they going to integrate? There's a couple of small developers that I've sort of followed. I've signed up to their e-newsletters. I kind of retweet some content and stuff. They may not make a game, but I'm interested in what they're doing. And even if, there's a few I've played, you guys see me, I've played some little demos and some other little things that.
Yeah, because isn't that how Grime came up, right?
That's how Grime came up. Yep. Grime's coming out August 2nd, right? Yeah. Richard and the team over there are going to be publishing it and
Death
putting
Carnival
it out.
Came about too.
I played the demo.
Yeah.
Lee, Cloud Gaming Dad, and we both played Animal Royale. And it's going to be coming. It's going to come to Stadia at some point because it's Xbox exclusive at the moment. And the world isn't going to come to the end when Xbox exclusivity runs out, like they think when the Stadia exclusivity runs out. The world was coming to an end when Crata moved to Epic.
No, dead platform.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God, if they're losing their exclusive, no, it's the business decision. You want more players. You want more. Everyone is judged by, monthly active users, daily active users. You want to get it in the most hands.
Right.
So, and now Crata got bought out by Facebook. Is it going to come to an end? I still stream Crata on Stadia because I love all the little mini games. I just don't have time. I want to make my own. I know, Ryzak, you talked about
I've got ideas, Jeff.
Sorry, on the Retro Rewind, we talked with Bryant about how he was, helping his kid with some stuff, and I've done some programming with my son. I would love to sit down and actually develop some games. I know other people have, Emma Jane created a game that I could never finish. Brian has created a few. There was a guy that popped into my stream one night when I was streaming Stadia. He goes, I've created some. Here, those are them. I went and played them. They were his games. He was in my stream. I went and played them. Had a great time. Right? I just don't have the time to build my own games. But that's why I like Crata, for example.
Yeah, when I see you playing it often, it made me think like, man, you're playing these games and someone made that game.
Yeah.
And Crata gives you enough tools to make a game look good enough. Like, it makes me think like, man, maybe I should try to make one just for the hell of it.
We should make a No Yes Men game.
Yeah.
Hey, let's yeah, exactly. Let's rewind it a little bit. Anthony, what did you think of the show today?
I thought it was pretty cool. Especially our first guest is Dave. My thing with Dave is Dave and I, he's a cool guy. We had it out at one point in time. Did a whole show where I invited him on because we disagreed with the whole EBCN thing. Mm-hmm. And in the end, the show ended. We still didn't agree, but I like him a lot because he's very expressive. He will tell you how he feels. And I thought it'd be really cool for him to be our first guest. I thought it was really awesome that the second episode is on Jeff's channel. And as we can see, people are still showing up. I think what we created, the little hub, people could go there. They don't even need to know whose channel it's on, right? Because we have a primary hub where they can find each episode. And if they just press on it, it takes you wherever it needs to be, right? So that's what's really cool. I'm glad we implemented that. And I love how we're each pulling up articles. Like you guys popping up articles on the screen. I didn't do any this week, but I think it's a full-fledged show. I think it's grown into what I personally wanted it to be, probably more than what I wanted it to be. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I kind of wanted just a Jerry Springer type crazy show. Ryzak, man, you have so many layers to yourself. The articles you're bringing, reading them all, you're articulate, and I find that crazy because you live in North Carolina, but you said you was from DC the other day. So I was like, oh, he's from DC. Like my wife asked me the other day, she said, where's Ryzak from? I said, no, he's from DC. She's like, oh. So I think, man, we're a great ensemble. The three of us coming together. Jeff, what you bring to the table is awesome. You always throw out there you're an older guy, but you have experience. You're not some
he's a
young
kid at heart.
Crazy kid. He is at heart, but he's real professional in certain ways. And so I just,
somebody was tweeting out, I know Ryzak, I think you comment saying, we're the 30-plus-year-old streamers. Like, and there was somebody.
It was Dr. Spaceman had
tweeted. Yep. Somebody had responded saying, I'm 50 and I'm not going to stream. Who's going to want to watch some 50-year-old playing games? I'm like, I'm right here. 3 or 4 people come out every week and watch me. Sometimes I have 10. Sometimes I have 3. Sometimes those 3 people are just me. I don't care. I'm out having fun. And whatever.
I'll be 50 in 5 years. Do it look like at 5 years from now I'm gonna just stop making content? No, not at all.
I don't think we're gonna get you to be quiet in 5 years, maybe 10.
I was watching these. It was I've been dabbling into the PlayStation and Xbox guys lately, and them arguing and their war, and it's been
they're
fun.
crazy.
It's been fun arguing with and debating with them because I don't really care about either side. So why they get real pissed off when I say something, but then I easily turn around and say something that the Xbox guy don't like, and they're like, yo, but they can't phase me because Stadia's only been around less than 2 years. So what I really care that much for, right? It's my favorite platform, but I haven't invested years and years as everybody else did in a PlayStation Xbox, right? So long story short, it's like, dude, just be whoever you are and like what you want. But I like that we're expressive individuals. And somebody was like, my point was, so I called it back. Somebody was like, you know, the cloud is the future. We might not even be playing games in 15 years. I'm like, why the hell would I not be playing video games in 15 years? Like, wait, what? And I'm older than the person who said it, right? By like 10 years. I was like,
It ain't
wait,
going away. It
I'm
only
gonna get
gets
to a certain age and be like, man, I ain't playing video games.
it only gets better and bigger and better. I mean,
in 15 years, we're going to be like the cloud. You're still using the cloud. Why?
Yeah,
You
right.
don't have the embedded chip in your
That's
brain.
so last
What's wrong with
gen.
you? Oh, we're going to be debating the embedded chip right into your brain. You're like, oh, look at that Ryzak guy. He's old. He's still in the cloud. He's still using a controller.
and you see me off to the side, just like,
Right?
Get away from me.
So we're just going to be again, servers all there back in the 60s, there was big rooms with servers, everybody dialed in. And then in the 80s, it all came home. Now what? All those servers are out in the cloud again, right? I've told my kids this back in when I was in college in 89. There was the internet, sure. But we were using mainframe computers at the school because we were programming COBOL and doing things. My brother worked at an arm of the government who had the same type of computer. So we were doing real-time chats, like not email, not real-time chats, just like we do in Discord, but we were doing it on mainframe computers. And I was in a computer program, and these people were all amazed, including my professors, that I'm having a real-time conversation because my brother and I were planning dinner. And we were having this real-time conversation. So that was in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Then it went all PC, and everybody had machines at home, and everyone did things. And now it's gone. I want to mention two tragic events that really reinforces things. 9/11 and what happened in Miami 2 weeks ago. Right? Two tragic events. Don't wish it on anybody. It's horrible. Horrible. But you got to take care of backups. You got to take care of. And I just keep thinking about the people who actually escaped, but all their belongings were at home.
Yep.
And they then knocked down that section. And so there are people who lost computers, pictures, everything. Right. Yeah. And I talk to people. I belong to several board of directors and things. And these people walk in with all these binders full of stuff. And I was secretary for 1 year, and they were like, Jeff, where are the minutes? It's in your email. Oh, Jeff, did you print out an agenda? No. Well, how are we supposed to check off our items? It's in your email. What do you mean? I go, pull out your phone. Well, I can't access you have an iPhone sitting right in front of you. You can get it. There's the agenda. Because all you do, and I called these people out. It was a no yes man in person. I said, all you do is you put a check mark next to the item that we did. Really? I'm the one that has to pay attention. I'm the one that's taking the minutes. Oh, by the way, I already wrote the minutes because you people are boring as hell. And oh
man, Jeff.
We were having a board meeting a couple of years ago when the big OBJ trade happened. And the one guy goes, we might as well end the meeting because Jeff is no longer paying attention to us because there's urgent NFL news, and that's what he's watching and paying attention to on Twitter. He has no idea. And I write the minutes before the meeting because it's the same crap. And then they're like, who seconds this motion? I said, I already got Jim down. Like I already had it all done prior to walking in. Talk about known yes man.
It's crazy.
But anyways, it's things that we have to think about is disaster recovery and other things. Because, Ryzak, you live in a house. There could be some accidental fire. What would happen? You got, so, and I talked about, I said, they're like, I said, they go, where are all your notes? It's all up in the cloud. It's in Google. I also have it. I have it also in other things. And they're like, well, what if Google goes down? I said, well, I have it in Dropbox. which is on Amazon servers. Well, what if they go down? I said, well, then the world's coming to an end, and I really could give two shits about your board.
That's exactly it.
Somebody was the PlayStation guy. Shout outs to Chill Gaming. He was like, "Oh, so no one ever answers my question." I said, "What's the question, man? If I buy 20 games on Stadia and Google shuts down the service, how do I get my games?" I said, "I guess you won't. The same way if you bought 20 games on PlayStation and Sony shuts down the service." He's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Well, first of all, there's updates. There's 60% of the games now are online games. 60%, more than 60% of games come out and need a day one patch, and they update. Now they make games that's not even fully finished, and then they just patch it. So if Sony went out of business, then you're screwed too." Yeah. Like, people don't realize the internet is like the master of the universe.
And I'm so glad that you have that disc in hand, because you want this hard copy so bad that you still have to put in your machine and download your game. Then you still have to wait for the update, or you still have to have internet so that you can play online.
Right. So if they went out of business, there would be no servers.
What if the disc gets scratched?
Yeah.
Right. What if you drop the disc, or your cat walks on it, or whatever.
Right. I'm definitely not hating on the collectors out there. If you're collecting those things, I know Ray. Shout out to Ray. He's got a ton of stuff on his shelf. Jeff, I know you got a ton of stuff on your shelf. Dr. Spaceman can turn around and pick things off his shelf as I ask him questions on Game Over. Like, that stuff is cool. I love how there's collectors out there, but the argument of the physical copy doesn't really hold weight when you can't just plug it in and play anymore.
Right, you can't.
You still have to be connected to the internet.
Video games have gone past just you putting your disc in and you turn on a game. No, these one-player games still need to be updated.
Or they put out new content for it.
Right.
I beat the game, but then they just put out 10 more levels, but I got to download it in order to play them.
They're gonna.
I don't go buy another disc.
Favorite game. They're gonna come out with some new Marvel updates. The PlayStation guys and Xbox. My son wanted to play Rocket League, and I was sitting here playing Fortnite. And I said, "All right." It was 127 minutes for him to download the latest patch before we could play.
And you realized it was the greatest game ever.
He left. I kept playing Fortnite. He came back a bit later, and then it finally worked. And then I stopped playing, and then I jumped in the Fort. You were sleeping, Ryzak. I was trying to get a hold of you.
I was pinging
you. I was calling you. I was carrier pigeoning.
I was out, man. That bathroom's been kicking my butt.
To get a hold of Ryzak that night. He kept saying, "Where is he?" I go, man.
The shower.
His phone out, ring anything. I could not get a hold of Ryzak. I tried everything.
He did. I woke up in the morning. I had like 37 messages across 4 different platforms. So.
And the problem with Jeff is you told this story last episode.
Yeah,
and I'm going to tell it again.
He might.
And you just did.
I got the Zymers. I'm not going to remember what I told you last episode.
Well,
I don't remember the last episode.
Why don't we save that for next week, unless you guys got something else?
Whoa. Speaking of next week, guys, so far, Ryzak was good enough to host the very first episode. What was the title of your episode?
Are y'all ready for this?
Are y'all ready for this? And it was epic. It was cool so much that it got us all blocked from somebody. And then this week, we had Jeff hosted the second episode. And what was the name of this episode, Jeff?
I don't know. Episode 2.
No, Jeff, you actually titled it something. Hold on.
I did, but I changed it. I just said episode 2.
Episode 2 was special
I was going to say,
you changed it. Okay.
I did. I changed it because I was so mad about.
All right. Well, it was a cool, clever, long name. He named it, but he changed it. Well, guys, episode 3 is my turn.
Oh, God.
And the title is Past Drama. So just so you know, I just want to not relive it, not rehash it, but I kind of want to get you guys, since you are no yes men, perspective. And we don't have to go into great detail, but I'm going to have a list of past drama that happened in the community. And I just want to, we go, little by little. And remember, it's going to be my turn.
Lord help us.
So I got to participate.
Lord help you. That's right.
So shout out to Crow in the chat who said he just happened to notice the names. Anthony didn't even know, because I created this set in this StreamYards thing that I could change people's names. He didn't even know that. He kept saying, "Do you want me to teach you how to use it? Do you want me to teach you how to use a website?"
Tell him this was your first time using it today.
It was, and
you did fantastic,
Jeff. My last.
Yeah. Did great.
You did fantastic.
It might be my last. Anthony didn't, who was going to teach me on how to use it, didn't even know.
I mean,
something that. And
is it
shout out
that
to Ray,
important
the
to
noob. Ray,
change-
stop liking your tweets. It is such a noob
is it
move, and I'm
that-
not a noob, Ray. I am extra. Get it right.
Jeff, is it that important to change somebody's name? So only a loser will go and change somebody's name around so they can be named what they want them to be named.
I resemble that remark.
Fair enough.
Anthony.
All right,
Anthony.
Yes, sir.
I have been called worse by way better people than you.
But I bet they didn't have a cowboy hat on now, did they?
That's fantastic. Mr.
Ryzak, how can people find you? Oh, I'm scared about next week. And sorry, how many games came out in December? I just want to make a note of that, just in case it comes up. That was 9. You said in December.
It was already a question on one of the episodes. I'm pretty sure it was 9. Yeah. That's why I knew it. So let's see. This Sunday, I believe I might be joining you guys for your retro rewind. I'm not positive. William may have reached out to me or may not have. So maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I don't know. But regardless, if I am or if I'm not, I will be streaming all day on Sunday. We are going to do we're going to do some Rocket League. We're going to do some Xbox Game Pass for a few hours and rotate through games. We're going to do some Stadia for a few hours and rotate through games. And then we are going to do our EBCN Minecraft stream Sunday night.
Nice.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, could you maybe do after? Okay. I don't know when you're going to do. I'm kind of busy from 3 to 5 Eastern to do thingy. So maybe early afternoon, maybe before we could do some, or maybe before the I'm going to be out in the morning.
My wife and my daughter are hitting the road early, so when they leave the house, I'm going to be getting up and jumping on. So whoever drops in is going to be more than welcome to come by. So you can find me there.
I'd love to play some Rocket League with you. I suck, just to let you know. I've only played like half a dozen games, and so.
Well, if you play with me, you're going to be playing against higher tiered people, so that ought to be fantastic for you. But because I can't, even if you host, it won't let me play against your level people. You'll have to play against mine because I'll be the highest rank in the room.
Let me ask you this: or is your rank up that high on? Is your rank up high on that game just because you've been playing that much, or because you actually won a lot?
So it's my rank goes up and down. Mm-hmm. I'll win 10 games in a row. I'll lose 15 games in a row.
Gotcha.
The metric that they use is all over the board. So it really depends on just kind of some of the things that you can do in the game. The score that you get from the games, the wins that you get from the games. There's actually a Rocket League stats website where you can go in and type in my name and see all of my stats. Cool. I'm definitely not some superstar. My son is. My son is killing it right now. He just went over. I think he's just about to go over 1,300 subscribers on TikTok for his game page. So that's crazy. He's got some great content out there. What was your question?
No, you kind of answered it. I'll leave it.
Oh, okay. All right. Next Thursday, you can find me on my channel. We have Game Over at 8 p.m. Eastern. Mr. Jeff Janak is going to be taking on Mr. Nerf Report Bryant Chappelle in our last first round matchup. The winner of that will go against today's winner, Clive, as we try to get our season 1 grand champ eventually. So you can find me there, and obviously on No Yes Men next week over on Anthony's channel. So between now and then, got lots of ways to find me. And if you don't find me anywhere there, tag me in a tweet and Twitter. I'll argue with you. I ain't gonna run.
And he is Gaming Ryzak on Twitter.
Yes, not just
Ryzak.
Yeah, some at Ryzak guy has been getting a lot of love lately. He's got 3 followers.
I can't believe I did that. As soon as I seen Ryzak, I just thought it was you. I was like, okay, that's Ryzak.
Trust me, I wish I could get in touch with him and see if I could have his handle. I'd love to.
I can totally believe Anthony not getting it right.
No, you know what? I realized that, I've been using you a lot. When you said your thing is different, I was like, damn. Because I thought when I type in I had to type in at Gaming Ryzak. But when I type in Ryzak, your picture comes up. I think that was just the one random time I clicked on that guy.
You're probably on the phone. It was probably quick, and I get it. I've done that.
I'm at work doing all this stuff, man. You know what?
I'm gonna be honest. I do it with Stadia. because I'll do at Stadia, and that's not their handle. It's at Google Stadia. So I'll do at Stadia, and it's like some other company, and I'm like, oh shit, I got to delete my tweet and redo it, and you just get going.
I in the hashtag I've seen, I think they make like stuff for actual stadiums, like. I think they make, you know.
Well, remember at Stadia.
I'm like, because they were talking about some, and I think they make something for.
I'm going to pull it up right now.
At Stadia, we actually had a lady as a guest on Stadia Source when I was on there. She actually works she's a church planner. So what they do is they help start up churches.
It's Stadia Church Planting, starting new churches for the next generation and spreading the hope of Jesus farther than ever before.
Receives those emails when you accidentally email her. We had her as a guest on Stadia Source.
F you at Stadia.
She was really nice. She was really nice, actually. She said it didn't bother her, but she was like, she said they went from like a certain amount of percent to like 400% of I bet. Yeah, out of nowhere. Yeah, she was like, "Yeah."
It's
like,
not an uncommon mistake. So
that's crazy. Yeah. But how about my daughter? So, what's the chances of someone's thing being at Lena Love 18?
Hey,
so for months,
I didn't think there'd be another Ryzak.
For months, I'm tagging this lady, and that I didn't know. I just thought it was my daughter.
But I can promise you this: there is only one Jeff Janak.
There is not.
Yeah, there is. I'm looking at him. It says right there, at Jeff Janak.
Go on YouTube and type in my name.
I don't want to do that. Then there's a lot of inappropriate.
Other awesome name people who are not me and who have more followers than me and haven't made content in a year.
You search up Jeff Janak on Google and you're going to find out why he's senior bear cub. Okay, just be careful. Watch out.
Exactly. That's the name of his OnlyFans.
It's Little Bear Cub, and then my son took it over and. Hey, it's just hilarious. He's playing these games, and it's like you were killed by Little Bear Cub Jeff.
Where do we find the former king of content?
So you can find me tonight, actually, on the Sandy and Anthony show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. My wife and I, we have a talk show. It's pretty cool. We read every single comment, so each person who comments, it feels like they're part of the show. And we never miss the episode, which is really crazy because we've been streaming for let's see, I don't know exactly, but I think January made a year. So we never missed the episode in over a year, going on a year and a half. So it's pretty cool. My wife sometimes she's like, all right, come on, man. We better not have a long episode tonight. I'm like, yo, why don't you just quit then, man? But anyway.
Take my word for it, people. You might go for Anthony, but you'll stay for Sandy.
I agree. She has kind of become the star of the show. She definitely has become the star of the show, and people have no clue what she's capable of, especially when the Daisy and Duke happened. You're like, wait, what did she just say?
That's right.
So, anyway,
I do give her props. She does read every comment. She will say, "Oh, and Jeff said this, and Ryzak said this."
That's our thing. Yeah, that's part of our thing. The one girl, Nikki, on there is really cool. She said this on like the third episode. I knew her husband for over 20 years. We worked the same job, and she said she privately told me, but I said it's a story. She said she suffers from depression, and she said she looks forward to every Thursday because it's a virtual hangout, and that always stuck with me, and we just never. And she's been on every single episode.
I actually want to broach that subject on this show one time. Maybe we'll do it on 4 when it gets back to me, but that's a pretty touchy subject in the community.
You should write it down, man. Or maybe I should write it down. Yeah. The cool thing is, guys, I'm going to get to the rest of my stuff, is the No Yes Men thing allows us to be upfront, honest, and touch anything, right? Mm-hmm. I was even going to bring up the president, and something when you guys was talking, we could have segued into it, but how the president of Haiti was assassinated, right?
Yeah, he was.
But we
in his own damn home.
It's crazy. But we could talk about anything because No Yes Men doesn't tie us to Stadia. So just so you guys know.
Well, I know that's where we met each other, and that's kind of why we talk about that a lot. But definitely. I mean, we go all over the place.
Yeah. So back to me before Ryzak stole the show.
Yeah, finish up because I'm hungry.
Because my plate is empty because
I didn't get to turn off my camera and eat rice and beans.
So tacos actually.
Taco Thursday.
I had the rice and beans before we went on. But anyway, guys, so you could also catch me I decided I do so much shows with other people. I decided, you know what? I need a weekly show that's all mine and my creative control. So I do a bunch of shows, and I always title it All Purpose Champ Power Up Plus. And I used to do that show on Stadia Source. So I decided this Wednesday, which was yesterday, at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm liking these hats. Ryzak, ever since you decided to do 5:30, I'm used to be it's either 5 or 6 or this and that. But I was like, you know what? 5:30 is a sweet spot. I get home. I don't have to rush. So anyway, 5:30 Eastern. Catch me out on my channel, the All Purpose Champ Power Up Plus. It's the podcast plus gaming show. We could be sitting here talking like this, and maybe a half an hour later, I decide to play games. We can play games for 20 minutes and then go back to talking, or we could just only talk or only play games. So check me out there. Obviously, you can check me out with these fine gentlemen every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Did you really just
hit everybody with a cash me outside?
Who, me?
Yeah. You can cash me outside.
Did I?
No, you didn't.
I did say cash. I'm like, what? But I got to bring back the SBCN spotlight. There's a bunch of guys that still want to get on. I just haven't did it in a couple weeks because I kind of just want to play games and kind of like do my own thing.
Speaking of SBCN, I don't know if you saw the comment at the beginning of the stream, but Proto said he wants to talk to you because he's got some people that want to debate.
Cool. Thank you, because I missed that.
Yeah,
but anyway, that's pretty much where you can find me, guys. So the star of the show tonight is Jeff. Turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. Yes, Jeff Janak here on this channel, obviously on the Twitter, on the Instagram. Sadly, I could not get that. I was too late to the game, to the Snapchat, and to the TikTok. I should have registered right when they came out. I knew better, but I didn't, and I was being lazy and whatnot. But whatever. Monday nights, I do my Stadia Bash community network stream where I play Stadia. I've been doing a lot of Blue Fire. I really like that game. I'm not as great at it as other people, but you know what? I try, and I really like the game. So Wednesday nights is another Stadia night. I try to do some Crata. Unfortunately, work got in my way last night, so I couldn't do it. There's a bunch of new games out that I just got to try. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Friday night at 6:30 is Retro Gaming Friday night. This week is Batman from the PlayStation. I'm going PlayStation 3. Is that retro? Because that's just last console.
It's not retro.
4 is current. 5 is next. This is just last console. So is that retro?
Actually, 5 is current. Let's just keep that straight.
You can't buy them.
It's still current.
It's next.
They still call it
next gen content.
I promise you, if I wanted to buy one, I can find one.
But probably, yes. But you live in you live in the land of plenty. In the land here in the north in the cold,
but yours is going to have a different letter at the front.
Nah, trust me.
Ours is in
no
French.
People.
You're going to be the Slay Station 5.
It's PlayStation Sank up here. Shout out to Dr. Spaceman, my French buddy. Yes. So Friday nights, Retro Gaming Friday night. Why do I play retro? Because I love playing games, and I just wish I had done it. I wish I had just done it sooner. Wasn't nice. I'm only on my 23rd week doing it. I should have done it sooner. I've had them just collecting dust. Now I've got them in, and
dude, I should just ship you all my old games. When Ryzak was like, "Oh, this person could pull out this and that," dude, I was a diehard gamer, so I got so much stuff from PlayStation 3 to Xbox 360 to I got a bunch of games. But
I switched to digital 2 consoles ago, so I traded all that stuff in at GameStop.
Yeah,
and got
I still
nothing
got
for
old stuff. I'm a digital guy too, but I just still I don't know. But
because the cool thing for me was when my son started becoming a gamer, with Xbox, I could buy one copy of it digitally. I could make his Xbox my home Xbox so that he could play any game I owned, and then I could sign in on any other one and play at the same time. So we basically got 2 licenses for one game.
Yep.
And as a young parent that didn't have a ton of money, I couldn't buy 2 copies of every game that we wanted to play, especially when we got the new Call of Duty every year. So for me, it was a business decision.
I sadly bought multiple versions. You go over there, I've got multiple versions of many games because both my kids want, that's why we have 3 televisions in this one room plus this one here, because they still do it. They will both play games, and then we can still watch the Dallas Cowboys win and kick ass on the other television on Sundays, or just watch, or watch Raptors or, whatnot. Right. So yeah, it's awesome. All right, boys. I think we're at where are we at? 2 hours, just over 2 hours. I think we're going to call it.
This was great. Thank you guys.
This was great fun. I'm
great
glad
conversation.
we're doing this.
Yep. We'll get back to it next week.
For being a part of it, man. This is pretty cool. I mean, Ryzak could have said hell no, and you could have been like hell no. But
we got to keep next week shorter because both Ryzak and I are going to be busy at 8, so we both need time to compress from this to get ready for the next one. So we can't go as long next week.
Listen,
I'm gonna need a fire. I'm gonna need a fire extinguisher to cool myself off after next week.
Tell me I need to shorten my episode.
I'm telling you, you need to shorten your episode.
You might have to get off the episode early, but it's gonna listen.
I can come in late. I can leave early.
Do not miss next week episode. That's all I'm saying. And I hope it don't turn crazy. But if it does, like I said, you know what? I think, guys, we are probably responsible for the less drama in the community. Because I put it out there and said, listen, if you're doing it and I see it, I'm going to talk about it. So clean up your act so I don't have to clean it up. Well, I'm not going to clean it up.
Oh, my God, Jeff.
Jeff.
Oh, there's the lights. Oh, my God. It's getting crazy. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, we got to go.
Wait, what happened? Wait.
We got to go.
Start cutting off all my lights.
What happened to my light?
Oh, Alexa, turn off light number 1.
What is going on?
There we go.
The ghost, boy.
Oh, it's like I'm still looking at Anthony. Look. All right, Jeff, take us on out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Everybody. Thanks everybody for coming. Proto's still here in the chat. Crow was in here. Ray, everybody. Codex. We got a big thank you to Codex for dropping in.
Yes.
If anybody wants to be a guest, just reach out and we will fit you in somewhere on somebody's show, and we will love to have you. Stadia Pro and Mrs. Sierra Rose and Mrs. Sierra Rose and Mr. Sierra Rose were here. I like to call them by their new names that I like to call them. Lee, Cloud Gaming Dad rolled in. I'm probably missing. Oh, Bruce Campbell. I don't know if you saw my stream when I finished my stream and then I started playing Bruce Campbell YouTube videos because I did not realize how he shredded the axe. Did you catch my last stream? Bruce was there and he sent me a video of his, and then I followed his channel. He's got a lot of
cool, man, he's awesome.
Got a lot of cool stuff.
I played a bunch of videos on my stuff.
See you next week on Anthony's channel.
Definitely.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Yeah.